Don't tell me. Oh, no, it's broken again.
It's broken again.
I got you, John.
You're on now,
Oh,
John.
that's how you hook it back in.
Yeah, the plug. Oh, I thought that was fixed.
I
Anyway.
did too.
It just keeps falling out.
Yeah, the stupid game that people were criticizing us for. Oh, the idiots in the afternoon have.
What did we do?
Have a
Remember our stupid game where we moved the win by?
Yeah,
Best game ever. We were right.
we were
The
right.
kept being negative.
The game was genius. I didn't.
John,
I
if
didn't
I-
listen to the game.
I wish I would have stuck with mine.
Yes.
And Josh wish he would have stuck with his because
Yeah, I
you were
was-
down
you
in
would
the
have been at
fours,
four.
I was
and
in
I
the
was in the
four.
fives, and you were in the fives.
Yes.
Yeah. People
Instead,
said that
I just jumped up to 7 last second.
people said that
What
I
was
was
I doing?
people said I was being too negative, so I decided to be a little bit more positive and say 5.
I think I remember when you jumped yours up, you said, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm all in.
You did say something like it's the
Yeah.
start
Oh,
of
yeah.
the season.
No, yeah, I just got really
Start of the
drunk
season.
the week before the
Yeah.
season.
First game of
the season.
Yeah, indeed.
So we should have listened. Always trust your gut
Yep.
instead of drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Nebraska is 1-3, and they may not be much better than that.
We put out a new poll question today, Hap.
Oh,
So you know how we've all off season.
yes, you
We've,
take the
we've done this
temperature.
for years. We started after Black Friday, and then we go after spring ball, and then we do a pre-fall camp and post-fall camp. For the first time ever, we decided to do an in-season one and update
well,
a
it's
little bit.
warranted,
So
I think.
the options for the last couple of years have been the same thing: 3-9 or worse, 4-8, 5-7, 6-6, 7-5, or 8-4 or better. Now, I mean, mathematically, 8-4 or better is still on the table mathematically, but I decided to update it. So we have 1-11, 2-10 or 3-9, 4-8 or 5-7, or 6-6 or better. So 4 options.
Oh my God.
4 options.
Yeah. How we doing so far?
2-10 or 3-9, 61.3% of the vote.
I think that's about where I would sit.
That's where I voted. I
Yes.
voted. That was the exact one that I voted.
What are the other percentages for the other things?
oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to get the whole video
Were
thing.
you not
Can you
paying
quit?
attention?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, it's the same thing I just told you off the air. But
yeah.
61.3% of the vote, 2-10 or 3-9. Second place is 4-8 or 5-7. The Positive Boys, 19.9%. 1-11, 13.4%, and 6-6 or better. Bowl game in the cards, 5.4%.
There's still
of
5% out there.
The vote.
Huh?
The 5%. The Positive Boys.
They have to win five more football games.
Okay, what's the path?
5
Indiana
more
and Illinois, right?
You got to get Indiana,
Have to.
Rutgers, Purdue, and Illinois.
Oh,
you have to get
God.
all of
So you
them.
have to win
You have to win
4
4 in a row.
They haven't won 4 in a row since 2016.
And then 1 out of the last 4.
oh God. Hey, maybe I will poop the bed. Maybe that game will go till 4 in the morning.
Isn't that the roadmap?
Yeah.
Or 3 out of the next 4 and then
Yeah.
2 out of the last 4?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. To get to 6. Holy balls.
Need to get the 6.
Dang.
I mean, could you go win? Could you beat it, Minnesota?
I do not think you can
Okay.
beat a Minnesota.
So it has to be Purdue. Oh man. John writes in, you should have listened to me, Josh. Listener John, all off season was saying
yes,
2 and 10.
Emailer John?
Yeah.
Yes.
John. 2 and 10.
Yes.
He said 2 and 10 all off season. John,
I know.
mea
yeah.
culpa.
Yeah.
You nailed it, man. You really did.
You might have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the Farron of last year.
You're kind of in
Mhm.
the driver's seat right now.
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly.
Yippee on YouTube says, John and Josh, please eviscerate Frost today. The people need to know how bad he
Eviscerate
really
him.
was.
What's wrong with you guys?
Here's the thing. I'm not going to brag, but I'm just going to tell the truth.
Now the media tells the truth.
Yes, now the media tells the truth.
Yeah.
This program has of the Nebraska media has been the least bullish on Frost, to put it nicely, for the last 2+ years.
Victory lap for the program.
Not to give him too much credit because he thinks he's always right, and he's only been right once, and that was when he picked the Super Bowl to go over overtime.
People forget.
Josh
won't
was
let
the
him forget.
first person in the Nebraska media to say, this is not going to work. It is time to move on from Scott Frost. I joined him a few weeks later.
And when was this, Josh?
After Purdue.
No, it was after Michigan State last year. I came on the air on the Monday after the Michigan State game and said they had to fire him.
Does it? I
Yeah,
thought it was
because
Purdue.
then they beat
Oh,
Northwestern,
yeah.
and I woke up to run a marathon, by the way.
Right.
And my mentions,
and Jack lit you up.
Jack lit me up. I wasn't on the show on that Monday, and so Jack's making fun of me the whole time. Like, they're going to beat Michigan, and Josh is going to like an idiot. And then John joined me after Purdue.
Yeah, that's right. That's the timeline.
Yeah.
So this notion that, oh, you guys are holding back. Wouldn't you think we would want to release every piece of information we would want?
Look, I apologize.
That we could. And sure, there might have been a few things, but quite honestly,
look, let's say this.
We're not gonna go and spread rumors on the chance that it might not be true.
Say, let's pretend the day before the game against Northwestern, if I would have come on the air and said, Frost,
this Northwestern,
Frost has missed multiple meetings this week in Ireland. Would that have really changed anything for other people? Like, no, probably not.
No.
And people would have been like, oh, you're just a hater. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a busy guy, Josh. You can't go to every meeting.
He's a busy guy.
So I find
video games to play.
I find it kind of funny that, and I can't speak for everyone else in the media. I find it kind of funny that the fan base who was wanting to accuse us of spreading the stuff about his personal life, which we never did,
never touched it, and never will,
is now angry that, well, you didn't go with your rumors on the other stuff, because that's what they were to.
This is routine though. Like this is routine stuff. This is how media handles things. Like this is how it works. And then at the end, when the result gets to the point where it got to,
you get the story.
It starts to come out, and you get the story.
You empty the notebook.
This is just what happens.
Right.
Jordan says John only joined because they lost a game he guaranteed they would win, making him look like an idiot. He did.
Guess what, John?
No, I didn't join it because of that. I admit I was an idiot for thinking they were going to win that game. Yes. And they were for a half.
Dion says, take Frost and friends to court for misrepresentation, lying, betrayal, obstruction, theft, and financial damages to the state and the university and players' future earnings.
Yeah, totally.
Do that.
Make him repay his buyout.
Hey,
back.
They sued the Big Ten. Can we sue Frost? Is that what Husker fans are demanding now?
Yeah, we need reparations.
I want my 4 years back. Right. I want these 4 years back.
I'll never get them back.
Hey, I don't though. The need to get to 6 game, that doesn't happen without the Scott Frost era.
No, it doesn't.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And now it's need to get to half of 6.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just to look respectable.
That's what I keep forgetting about in this entire thing, because now we've gone 2 Sundays in a row where somebody's got fired, and we go like rehash the entire thing. Yeah. They're 1-3.
They're 1-3.
They're 1-3, and they might go 2-10 or 3-9
or 1-11.
Or 1-11.
By God, 3-9. 3-9 actually sounds optimistic. I hate to say this.
I know, man.
And who knows what may happen, but good Lord.
Maybe Bill Bush is the best defensive coordinator of all time.
It'll make the 1957 team.
If he is, then he has been grossly underutilized for the last 10 years.
Too bad the offensive line is still a thing.
And that's the other thing from Saturday that got overshadowed because Oklahoma scored 6 out of their next 7 drives, or whatever the hell it was. The offense was bad.
It was
horrible.
The first drive, and we talked about this on our show, Connor. The first drive goes 73 yards, and Nebraska barely matches that for the last 6 drives of the first half. They averaged under 2 yards a play the rest of the first half.
In between the scoring drives.
And in between the scoring drives, they were averaging about 3.2 yards per play. The offense was brutal.
Yeah.
The defense sucked, but come on, the offense that was supposed to keep them in it, and a lot of that goes back to the offensive line.
Donnie.
I will say this though, and it doesn't do anything here or there, but like if Scott Frost was coaching in that game, you know what he does? He rips out the quarterback run at some point.
Yes.
And the offense is actually able to put something
Logan
together.
probably would have gone into the game.
Yes.
I mean,
or they would have run. They would have run
Casey or Chuba.
They would have run Casey more.
Yeah. Gross.
Because that's what they did. I mean, I wouldn't say they did it a lot, but against Georgia Southern
and North Dakota.
North Dakota
second half it was just Frost's offense. I mean, that was the whole.
Peter says, were you guys surprised with the firing of Eric Chins?
Eric Chins?
Look, not to do the whole media, what we did didn't tell you. We basically told you this. We told you this was on the table last week on the show.
We all strongly hinted at
it. It was absolutely on the table. Yeah. It was absolutely on the table. I said as much during the game on Saturday as well. It was on the table.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not surprised. I think, here's the thing. If they would have had a bye week after the Georgia Southern loss, I don't think Chinander would have coached the fourth game. I think that's the only reason he kept him, was to coach one more game. And I was told last week, and we said this on the air, if they had a bad defensive performance again, and I just inferred, like another 40-point, drubbing, and that should have been like 70. That he was not long for the Nebraska world. And sure enough, now do I know? Because I've had a lot of people ask me how much of that is Chinander being, like Frost's guy, best men in each other's wedding, yada yada, or just the performance. And I don't know the answer to that, but the performance is not good enough, obviously.
I'm guessing it's all kind of interrelated because Mickey did work with Bill Busch a little bit in the past.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the idea. And listen, again, this is probably a Band-Aid on an internal injury. Okay. I personally do not think we're going to see a dramatic change
Definitely not.
in the defensive fortunes. If it changes, it's because they're playing an Indiana team whose offense is sketchy right now. Not that is necessarily hurt, but at the same time, I think he probably felt he had to do it just to try to put his imprint on things. And I think it was to rattle some cages within the players.
Yeah, I think so too. Chinander is not the same person as the way we've been talking about Frost over the last week or so. He does not fall victim to the same things that I think Frost did and that plagued him here in Nebraska. So there's not that part of it either. And for the majority of the past 4 years, he was a good defensive coordinator. I think it was sort of like he showed that he can build a defense, and obviously had that group last year that was so experienced, and they had grown linearly in his system, but they didn't have time. They don't have time to do that again. And he wasn't going to be the next defensive coordinator anyway.
Right.
So it's just, let's try and get a quick change here and get some momentum any way we can and make something out of the rest of this year. You're right. It's just that.
The thing that
it's tough because I think he's a pretty good coach.
Well, and Schaaf brought it up last week. He's arguably one of the more popular coaches,
no doubt,
on the team.
Lost a commitment immediately.
Yeah.
Right. Which is because, again, I think that part of this is to shake up the rank and file and say, hey, this is really, really serious. Not that the players necessarily need to be told it's serious. They obviously are right there at ground zero. But sometimes
well, for recruits too, it sends a message of this is not going to be the same program that you signed up for.
Right.
This is going to be a different.
Now there is an extremely good chance that the program that it is today, it will not be the same program.
Right.
Which, kind of goes back to, and listen, I don't believe right now, and I've said it and I'll continue to say it, ask me in November when it comes to Mickey Joseph, but there's a part of this that's for a guy who's never been a head coach at this level, or any level close to this level, this almost feels like too unfair a tryout, if it is a tryout, because things are so bad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And maybe unfair is not the right word, but you're not going to be
replicable.
You're not going to be able to be a good judge for a guy who has never been a head coach at this level before.
Correct.
Again, unless they go on a hellacious run. But there is nothing that indicates there's anything close to a hellacious run out there, because this is a bad football team. And so it's going to be very difficult, in my opinion, to judge the quality of work that Mickey Joseph could do for you in the future by what he does this year.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's like a janitor walking into a nuclear, reactor accident.
Oh,
where it's like
Chernobyl.
Where it's
I love that
hey,
show.
I know something's wrong here, but
I got my mop.
I brought my mop in my bucket, but
nuclear waste is just chilling.
I think this is such a mess right now.
A spray bottle.
It's going to
drink that water.
It's going to require a lot more.
Clean out the windows. Guys, hey, bros, the windows.
I got those.
Those are clean.
It's going to require some work that I haven't never been asked to do before.
Yeah, it's a little stacked against him, I think.
Just a little bit. God.
Hard to say.
I can't believe it's September 19th.
It's September 19th. I feel like it's November 24th.
This is going to be a season, and folks, think about it in the moment right now.
Folks.
You're gonna talk about this season for years. You're like, man, remember how weird the 2022 season was when Frost got fired and then the next week Chinander got fired? Like this season is gonna be talked about for like a whole generation of fans.
I think we need
just don't say this is rock bottom.
Don't say it.
Do not say that.
I think it'll help if we reframe things. Like say OU was the first game of the postseason. Now they're just 0-1 or
every
1-0.
game's if you view every game as a bowl game.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, but if you
Bowl
view
games.
every game as a bowl game, people are going to expect tours of the Guinness plant. And
Well, they already did that.
wait, what? Too soon?
they're only 0-1 right now, guys, in the postseason.
There you go.
Nick,
No,
you know, sometimes out of the mouths of babes.
Thanks.
No, seriously, I mean,
Great job, Nick.
Thanks.
you might have stumbled on something here. Just think of this as
Gaslighting
nine bowl games.
The next game is its own postseason wrapped into one. So yes,
Yeah.
they're 0-1 in the previous postseason, but now they have the next postseason.
Yeah.
They have made the postseason again.
Here
Plus,
we go.
We have another game in 2 weeks.
A lot of bowl games, before January and even some after January, are not in full stadiums.
Oh,
Now you say that.
are you murdering the sellout streak, Josh?
I put this on the list. I guess I'm the keeper of the
the
list,
X.
so I'll write it down. The sellout streak is ending.
Wow.
The Indiana game, it's dead. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think they're gonna do it. It's done.
I wouldn't. Far be it from me to stop you from making a bad prediction, but I don't think it's going to end for the Indiana game.
It's already sold out.
The only rean I say that, I looked at the map today. I just happened to look.
I'll just
at
say
the
it
map
dies
today.
this year. Then
Yeah,
it's dead this year. That or Illinois. I don't think they're gonna do it again. I don't think they're gonna. Maybe they'll give away tickets, but
all I would say is this:
I think it's
the amount of seats that appear to be left, according to the green dot map on Huskers.com,
there's a lot of them, or not a lot. of them?
There's not so many of them that they won't fudge it to make sure that these seats are sold. That would be my read.
Happy red carpet.
I'm
game.
not going to sit here and count every green dot,
Let's do that. Nick, can you count these
Count
dots
the green dots.
during the show?
but I would say right now it is.
we have
less,
to account for all of the Indiana football fans that are going to be
it's
making
less
their way
than
down, too.
it's less than 1,000.
Wow.
It's less than 1,000.
How about this? We're talking about how time is
Might
just
be less than
weird right now.
500.
Brad says, just think a month ago, Scott Frost was doing that happy slide down the rail at the stadium.
Oh,
God.
no.
You want to talk about
that feels like from a lifetime ago.
It really does. It really does.
Happy slide.
Remember that?
I remember this.
And then all the
look,
songs.
I remember
look how
the song.
loose he is. Look how happy he is.
Didn't he have his
Oh, they're
sunglasses
gonna-
on, his backpack?
Nebraska
leaving
by
for Ireland.
100.
Heading to
Oh,
school.
you won't see Pat Fitzgerald doing that. See how confident he is.
Mhm.
And then the media shows up and they all grab their Guinnesses and they say, wow, this is a great day, great week for the program, and what a special time this is.
I know it didn't happen, but it's still fun to imagine that after he was fired, he did a sad slide.
Oh.
No, he got into that truck with the dent in it.
He got into the
Maybe
truck.
that's
with
where the
a
dent
into
came
it,
from.
And,
He slid too hard.
and you know what? To be quite honest, I don't think he's that heartbroken.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think he's that heartbroken about it.
Jordan says Josh is underestimating the amount of underprivileged children in Lancaster County and the surrounding areas.
Yeah, of course, Josh. Come
Somebody
on.
reached out to me, is plugged in, and says, "I'll bet you money that the sellout streak doesn't end this year." I'm going to walk it back. Then never mind. The sellout streak will continue.
No, you can't walk it back. You already put it on the
But
list.
Yeah, it's on the list.
You're right. I actually did already put it on the list. I typed.
I
Damn it.
again,
is binding,
looking at the
Josh.
green dot map, I would guess there
He
are
says it.
there are few enough tickets available that if they
What about the Illinois game? How many are available for the Illinois game?
If they want to keep it alive,
Just give it to a few kids.
they would be able to keep it
Yeah,
alive
yeah.
with
Smile time.
a little creative accounting.
This is going to be fun to listen back to at the end of the year.
Oh, is this Happy New Year?
Oh, it's Monday after.
Oh, that's right. A part of our best of week, Nick is going to do our Monday after crossovers.
Mm.
Oh,
What did we talk about last week?
Wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah.
Frost got fired.
Yeah. I think didn't last week we try to have fun and not talk about that, or did we?
Unlikely. I don't know.
I don't.
I think there were a few
remember.
brief mentions, but it wasn't anything that stuck.
What do you see in Green Dot?
This is from the day. So you're coming with the voiceover. This is from the day after Scott Frost get fired. We're talking about whatever.
Hey, did you
we're
watch
talking about.
Thrones last night?
Right. Did you watch
Yeah.
Hot D?
Here's Georgia Southern.
Hot D.
There's a few more green dots for Illinois.
Okay, well,
That
all right, source, you're right. I'm wrong. I'm not going to.
Illinois. There's a. My forecast right now says
Not a 5 cast.
there's a 50% chance of no sellout for Illinois.
Oh,
wow.
50-50.
Pull up the sleeves. Bill Ranby over here.
Yeah.
John Sellout forecast.
Get the carpet.
This sounds like a graphic for Josh Hodson.
Yes, Josh, if you're hey Russia, if you're still listening.
If you would like, I can give you a sellout forecast.
I like this. This would be
Yeah,
fun.
this is a good
If you
bet.
see over here,
I would say it's a.
I want to do that. Can we do a video with the
Section
green
18
screen?
in
I would
South
like. I would
Stadium.
say it's like a trace.
I think we have a green screen
there's
downstairs.
Bingo.
there's a slight chance for an evening sprinkle for the Indiana game,
Interesting.
but nothing that will disturb your day. But for Illinois, there's a 50% chance of no sellout.
Sparker on YouTube says, can we take a moment and play the screw Scott Frost drop one more time? Did anyone ever acknowledge that caller was 100% correct? We had this guy.
Yeah.
This was 2017. So Riley was still the coach.
Are we going to play it?
It began with him saying something about like he wanted a tough offense and like a option offense or whatever. And we're like, we don't think Frost would run. And he was like really positive towards Frost. And then
But then I broke the news to him that, hey, this isn't, they're getting rid of the fullback.
Yeah, that's what it says. And then here's what the caller said to us.
Okay, all right. You have to turn the mics off.
All right, let's turn them off.
Screw Scott Frost.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said. That was all he said.
I thought that was going to be longer.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah.
It's literally just him saying,
Screw
If
Scott
I had a
Frost.
nickel.
it's
Nice, Nick.
Thanks.
Screw Scott Frost. He killed the fullback?
Mm-hmm.
Screw Scott Frost.
Yeah.
That was great.
Didn't even turn the mics off.
Yeah, and you know what? Props too. There was one caller, and I don't know if he still listens anymore. He tweeted at me yesterday, but Nebraska ball Mike, one of the reasons he didn't want Scott Frost to get hired, and he said this, was what if he fails? And he got very emotional thinking about he didn't want Scott Frost to come home and then fail. And I said, well, you hire somebody else.
Didn't Scott Frost
that was
sort of say that before he took the job?
I think so. To that reporter down in Orlando, that guy,
Yeah.
in the golf court.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Bianco.
props to him. Props to him too. Man, what a year!
By the way, an underrated thing about this Husker ticket map site
The
is
green dots.
they
look
still
over
have
here.
the alternating stripes on the field.
Oh. Time to upgrade it, Trev.
Just a random observation as I'm looking at my long range forecast now.
Do your job, Trev.
The long range models for the Minnesota game would appear that skies might be clearing. So the Illinois game right now stands as maybe the one thing that could get in the way of the sellout streak continuing, if you believe such a thing still exists. For reals.
A text message from Dad. Picturing a dump truck pulling up to an orphanage and dumping tickets on their lawn and speeding away.
There's not that many tickets, Dan.
I hope Dan's not driving.
Yeah. Dan would run into something.
Was that our Dan?
I don't know if it was our Dan. It was just this is Texter Dan.
Well, if you're not our Dan, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're probably a fine driver if you're not our Dan.
As we think of more ways to make this season fun, because it's not going to be fun. Will texts in, each upcoming game needs a bowl name. So going back off Nick's idea, we could give it a sponsorship. We could have the whole thing.
Oh, let's
All right,
do it.
So our goal now for the next 2 weeks, well, we should have
could
it in
plan-
place for next week.
Yeah, plan all the names.
We need a bowl name for the Indiana game.
I like it.
So the last time we played Indiana, it would have been in 19,
Was
and they
not
were
our
all
Dan.
they were all triggered at us because they didn't show respect.
Yes.
Because Nebraska didn't show respect.
Right.
So a lack of respect.
So
bowl
maybe
game?
maybe the Respect Bowl, and then we need a sponsor to go with it.
Yeah, we'll have to go.
Tom Chattel.
We'll have to go find the exact quotes.
Yeah. Why was Tom Allen so mad?
Yeah.
He was mad.
Indiana
That
was
so
their
weird.
AD had like
They were pissed.
Yeah, he was so triggered.
It was so weird. Nebraska wore the black jerseys that day. Remember that?
Oh God,
Wasn't
they
that
sure did.
That was the
that-
weird quarterback week.
Wait,
It was
wasn't
Noah
wasn't that the
Vedral.
game that produced the hoodie press conference?
No,
That's
that was Minnesota. So
No. But the press conference happened in Lincoln.
Mm-mm. It was
Yeah,
after
did.
the game, wasn't it?
Oh no. It was
No.
not after the Minnesota game. You might
I
be
thought
right,
it was
Josh.
Oh, it was
after
like the Monday ahead of it.
It was
No.
It was later. It was like
after they lost.
I
I
was
think
like
it was
weeks
after
later.
that to it.
But I
Yes.
thought it was after they lost to Indiana because I distinctly remember being up in the press box watching it.
I feel like
on
that game was
TV.
earlier in the season, but maybe I'm
Minnesota
wrong.
did happen before Indiana because I was actually
I think
looking
it
at this.
was the Indiana game that brought about the hoodie press
Oh
conference.
my God,
Good Lord,
the Hoodie Bowl.
the Hoodie Bowl.
I'll
No,
look
that's
it up
gotta be
in-
Minnesota.
That's Minnesota.
That's too easy.
Minnesota's the Hoodie Bowl.
Yeah.
I love hoodies.
That one's too easy.
Brought to you by Aeropostale. Because I used to buy hoodies from Aeropostale.
Oh, you were one of those kids.
I was one of those kids, Nick. Settle down.
Cool.
And the gray Herbie hoodie that Frost wore the last time he coached for Nebraska. We just put it up in the rafters.
I kind of want that hoodie.
R.I.P.
We could name it the Russell Athletic Gray Herbie Husker
Hoodie Bowl.
What about this from Jordan? The Tom Allen Disrespectable.
Nice.
Disrespectable.
So the Herbie hoodie that Frost wore, do you think that being the one he was wearing the game he got fired made the price go up or down on that one?
Good question.
Like, would the
makes
item
the
be
value
worth?
go up for me, but probably down.
Oh,
for
it makes
others.
it go up for me. I want it.
Yeah.
I just want to wear it.
I want it for
People know what
comedy.
it means.
It could be a popular Halloween costume.
Scott Frost the night they lost to Georgia Southern. Oh, which Scott Frost are you? Oh, I'm the one there they lost to Ireland. They lost to Northwestern.
Spitter with you.
And for the parents that miss Halloween, they can be the I'm Scott Frost Irish Scott Frost.
What about this from
Because
John?
he missed meetings.
Indiana game. The
Nice.
Who's Your Next Coach Bowl. That's pretty good.
All right,
pretty
keep
good.
sending them in.
Yeah.
Bowl names. We need bowl
We
names
need
for
bowl
all the
names.
games.
Every
This
game
is a
a
huge
every
we are
game.
0-0. 0-0 again.
Yep.
Let's
Every
go.
game
Good
is a
call,
bowl game
Nick.
from here
Thank
on
you.
out. Every game is a bowl
Wipe the
game.
deck.
All right, we got to
See
take
ya.
a break and
Bye, Hap.
Thank you, Hap. And let's start a new week. It's a bye week.
Yeah.
They can't lose. They can't lose. We think. 16-20 the zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny, hot, and humid Monday with a high in Omaha near 91, but feeling like the mid and upper 90s. Breezy today with southeasterly winds gusting up to 25 miles an hour. Calming tonight with clear skies, but staying warm, lows into the mid and lower 70s. Tomorrow, near record-breaking heat, plenty of sunshine, feeling like the triple digits. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers, offers exterior solutions that help you protect your number one investment. Whether it's roofing and siding or windows and doors, they're committed to excellence, quality, and outstanding customer service in every step of the process. When it's time to protect the exterior of your home, your choice is simple. Turn to who the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Check them out online and schedule a free estimate today. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
At Lenahaw, our homegrown trees boast the most vibrant colors of fall, reds, yellows, and oranges. Shop our garden center today for the best selection of plant material and seasonal decor. When you think fall, think Lenahaw, 192nd and Center.
At Dingman's Collision Center, you voted them first place in Best in Omaha for the past 17 years. So they want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and their incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, they'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Husker football season is underway, and my friends at Tickets for Less are here for all your Husker ticketing needs, home and away. You want to secure tickets for the next game, or you need to sell your seats for a future game, Tickets for Less can help. Shop the best selection of Husker tickets now at ticketsforless.com, or you can call and order over the phone at 402-398-1999. If you love your Huskers and saving money, ticketsforless.com should be your go-to spot. With no per-ticket fees, you can always save big over the competition. Shop today at ticketsforless.com.
Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. New this year is Stefan's Country Drive. Antique cars where the kids are in the driver's seat. Plus, there's a new carousel. Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard is also opening a whole new part of the farm, the cider mill, with more than 50 other attractions included with admission. Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard is the place to be this fall. Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard, Gretna, Nebraska. Open September 23rd.
If you love food, love fun, love fall, you'll love Vala's Pumpkin Patch best of all.
Dingman's Collision Center, 4 Collision Center locations serving you in Omaha and Papillion.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. just a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
I mean, it's the usual Monday suspects. What else did you expect?
Not much more. Hey, raise your hand if your team won this weekend. Nick can raise both hands.
Fraud.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
You know, we lost Shane.
You gave up on your Dolphins.
Yeah.
No, I'm back on the Dolphins.
Oh, of
And on-
course.
and on
the problematic Dolphins.
Yikes.
Yep.
You know, we lost Shane. And
we lost him.
I mean, you can't see him sometimes. And we gained new Shane.
He was like changing the couch cushions.
No,
I can't find him.
I don't know. I'm out on the Broncos. I like the idea of supporting them because Sir Lewis, but you know.
So you're already out on the Broncos?
I thought no. Okay, so it's like you remember the song "You Like Pina Coladas"?
Yeah.
So it's about a dude who thinks he wants to cheat on his wife,
getting caught in the rain.
So he puts out an ad in the newspaper, and that's basically what I did, but with the team. And I've realized that this whole time, I've liked what I've had.
But you realize at the end of that song, it turns out that
problematic part, you
that
like
the
that?
ad he was responding to
Was also his wife's.
Was his wife's.
Yeah. Found out that.
Which, by the way,
meant
I
for
didn't
each other
learn
the
this
whole
until
time.
the last year, and I've heard that song for like 40 years.
Oh yeah, it's a horrible song.
Oh, I like.
Or
the
it's a
song.
great song, but it's an interesting story.
I think it's a funny story. But anywho,
we were both trying to cheat on each other.
But anywho, yeah,
getting caught in the rain.
That was a big thing back in the 70s and
Cheating?
80s. A lot of there was a lot of
key parties. Yeah.
Yeah.
People love key parties.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the program, everyone. Jack Mitchell, Steve Sipple. Cross your fingers. We're
Cross
not
your
sure.
fingers.
We're
Yeah, not sure on Damon.
Not sure today on Damon. We'll
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, hopefully
at some point. But we got plenty to get to, including, and I'm dead serious about this.
1 and 11.
The Queen.
Oh yeah, her funeral. The dead Queen at her funeral.
I'm glad they put her in the Safe Crackers vault on The Price is Right. It's fantastic.
Is she in the ground, or does she have her own little tomb thing?
Apparently, there's a vault.
A vault?
Very complicated.
Rob the vault. Ocean's 14.
Ocean's 14.
Why do they want the Queen's body?
Probably be worth a
Well,
lot.
she probably got some nice.
Dude.
She probably has a really nice necklace or negligee.
Nick, you know, people love buying
negligee,
things.
probably not the
You
right
could
word.
sell the Queen's body for a lot of money. I'm guessing.
There were people waiting in line for 24 hours to see it.
Who would want the body? I don't know. One of those weirdos.
Well, it's hard to sell things on the black market sometimes because
the economy, it's booming. All right, what were you going to say though?
In all seriousness,
yeah,
because I'm still getting hit from multiple sides.
Many sides.
I'm going to spell out clearly and concisely.
Oh no, Herb!
The case why Urban Meyer is not a good hire for Nebraska.
Nice.
And it will include things that have nothing to do with his personal demons or his work ethic or his issues, if you will.
Okay.
I've got it all.
Urban Meyer's
spelled
head
out.
coaching record is overrated, says John Bishop. I am excited for this.
No, there's not going to be anything in there.
Sindelar texts in, by the way. If you can't get Damon, you can always get me. The Alex Sindelar breakdown.
It's going to be a lot of bread references.
I kind of want to.
Be a lot of bread references if we do that. Yes.
Mm.
So 402-951-1620, Les Hills Harley Davidson hotline, your home in the hill. Also, your J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed, where yes, Josh has ordered a new poll.
Sorry, we had to.
But now that the season is 8 games left.
8 bowl games.
8 bowl games left, and they're 1-3. What is your prediction for their record?
Oof.
And yeah, it's pretty grim. It's pretty grim.
It's
but
pretty
you can
Nick.
Check it out on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter page at USC 1620. You can also email the program. We did get some good emails over the weekend. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We do have a bye week, so we have plenty of time.
Lots of takes.
We have plenty of time And I'm sure at some point Josh will have some kind of a celebration. No, not just because the Cowboys eked out a win yesterday, but because Eric Chinander's been fired.
Oh, would you stop it? I'm not going to take pleasure in someone losing their job. I'm not. No, was I right about his defense? Yes.
This year.
Overrated defense.
What if Dak loses his job?
Well, he did.
That won't happen. Look,
technically he did. I mean,
thank you to Cooper Rush for a great final drive and a solid first couple of drives, but the middle portion of the game shows why he ain't it. Now, look, is Dak going to win a Super Bowl? No, but I'm just happy they won.
I know. You should
My
be.
dad and I celebrated together. We high-fived. It was lovely.
You should be.
It was lovely.
You should be happy.
Mm-hmm.
We're all happy this week.
Oh, that's nice.
Did I say the Equitable Bank inbox? John at 1620thezone.com or Josh at 1620thezone.com.
Text from the 402. You realize Sip is a big higher herbs ASAP guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to yell at Sipple today?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm not going to yell at him today.
Okay.
I'm not going to yell at him today.
Okay.
I mean, is it a foolish concept? Yes, in my opinion, it is. But I will spell out a clear and concise case why it is a mistake. And it's not all related to his personal demons.
Okay.
And we have to break down yet another region, the hot assistance region in Frost versus, or not Frost.
Not Frost.
I keep wanting to say Frost versus the world.
He's gone now, John.
Frost versus the world. This mouse is busted.
Okay.
Did you want me to click on the music?
Yes. I didn't know if you were picking up what I was putting down.
Well, you started grabbing my mouse.
Well, I did, and you weren't doing anything, so I thought I was just going to do it myself. And we will continue. Jack Mitchell's going to join us next.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we need to do a little consolidating.
Nice.
We fell a little bit behind because Nick, for once, instead of injecting a horrible joke, actually came up with a good idea that I'm thinking Jack Mitchell will even endorse.
I think so too.
That we treat every game left on the schedule like a bowl game because we're now in the postseason.
Indeed we are.
We're now in the postseason. And I'm sure Jack will have some ideas on what we can name the Indiana game.
Perfect.
Because we need to come up with bowl names for every one of the remaining games on the schedule. And by the way, and it's kicking off at night. Congratulations, all you morons who think it's great to have crappy football in prime time.
Morons.
7 a.m. would have been perfect start.
Tailgate all day, man. Tailgating.
Why would you want to tailgate? It's Nebraska and Indiana.
So you don't remember the game. You're always like, don't you want to remember the game?
You don't want to remember the game. Don't go.
Not this one, John. Not this one.
Don't go. All right. Be back with more in a minute. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. John Bishop here from my friends at McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. It is time to start thinking about your furnace. I know temperatures are going to be in the 90s for the first few days of this week, but you need to start thinking ahead about the winter. And if you have a gas furnace, extremely important that you make sure that furnace is inspected every year because carbon monoxide is a real danger to you and your family. And the pros at McCarthy's with their trained and certified technicians who all get drug tested will handle all of that through their Comfort Club, the McCarthy's Comfort Club, where twice a year you get an inspection and any discounts necessary on repairs for both your AC and your furnace to make sure everything's going to work through the peak heating and cooling seasons. Check it out today, McCarthy's1hour.com. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, always on time, or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's1hour.com.
It's 42 Degrees 10th anniversary sale, and we have great deals for you. Want to save up to 75% on Kratom, CBD, Delta products, pipes, vaporizers, e-juice, candles, and more? Then go to any 42 Degree location. Talk with the most knowledgeable, friendly, professional staff with savings up to 75%. That's right, save up to 75% during our 10th anniversary sale at The Source, 42 Degrees, by your mom's house.
This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Suicide can be prevented by knowing the warning signs, and most importantly, knowing what to do if you recognize those signs in yourself, a loved one, or even a stranger. There are simple ways you can be there for someone, so they can be here for more tomorrows. Visit moretomorrowsne.org to learn the signs, how to approach the conversation, and where to get help. Or call 988 for help now. That's moretomorrowsne.org.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power and savings with style. Not to mention top tech to help keep you connected. Plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years, with a hybrid or electric vehicle built for every driver. Seriously, dear gas prices? Do you really think you can stand in our way? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimate, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista. If COVID taught us anything, it's that local matters. Local shops, local restaurants, even locally brewed beers. October is Drink Local Month. So the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild is challenging beer, seltzer, and cider drinkers like you to put your palate through its paces and drink local brews. Because seriously, Nebraska is really on the cutting edge when it comes to brewers who think outside the box. And besides, you really want to be drinking what they drink over in Iowa? Didn't think so. Click drinklocalnebraska.com.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is from Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard. Get 2 anytime passes for the price of 1. An $80 value for just $40. Over 50 attractions are included. The Pumpkin Eating Dragon, the new carousel, a barnyard challenge course, zip line train rides, and more. Vala's Pumpkin Patch, open September 23rd.
Zone Deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Rally House, shop every team in town. College and pro, come on and time to go.
Get ready for kickoff, Omaha. Rally House has the game day gear you're looking for, including Chiefs sideline gear and the latest college styles.
Nebraska, Cornhuskers, Creighton, Blue Jays, Hawkeye, Cyclones, Chiefs, and Royals.
Rally House, Rally House. It's your city, it's your house, it's the Rally House.
Gear up in-store and online at rallyhouse.com.
Bill Jones
and Olivia
here again for Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe. Jones Bros is famous here at Omaha for catering delicious breakfasts and lunches for business meetings.
If I own a business, I cater Jones Bros every day.
Sounds good to me, Olivia.
For breakfast, I cater French toast with warm syrup and croissant donuts. That'd be a good day at work.
Go with it, Olivia. Check out our website at jonesbroscupcakes.com for catering.
Jones Bros Cupcakes in Exarban Village.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Summer is done and fall has begun. It's planting weather, and we have just what you need. Shop the area's largest selection of homegrown plants, trees, home decor, and more. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
You wearing ratty jackets from Stephen Barry's. Praying one day Big Red will win the NIT.
Ham is the water of meat.
Ham the water of meat.
Ham is the water of meat.
Someone needs for bacon.
Ham is the water of meat.
Before we start this segment, we have to
what are we doing?
We have to do something.
Oh.
Yeah. Nick, would you please hit the music? Black shirts taken away.
They're gone. Oh, there's Nick Grimm. Oh, no. Oh, no.
You erased it.
You erased
this worked so well in rehearsal.
Now
you gotta write it. Two.
Now erase it, Nick. Or just a line. There we go. Oh. R.I.P.
There it is.
Like the dead queen, Jack's record prediction officially dead.
I feel like I've been canceled.
Well, it worked really well in rehearsal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed it did.
Sad.
Sorry, Jack.
Sad.
Hi, Jack.
I really thought I was going to get that right.
Remember when you went through? I mean, we did it live. You
went through the whole season.
Yeah, you went through the whole season. Oh yeah, that's a win. Oh yeah, that's a win.
By the way, just for the record, I've only missed two. No, I've only missed one game so far. Right?
No.
Two games. No, never mind.
I was gonna say you didn't.
I can't believe this. Everything is a mess. I can't.
Yeah.
My mind is not straight. I mean, the last week, the last few days, the last month has felt like a year. So
yeah.
No, you're right. I've forgotten how many games there even were. Can you believe it? The losses in 2022 are so many that I can't even remember how many there have been so far.
3.
Can you believe that? It's like
3
it's like your birthday when you reach a certain age. You just kind of stop counting.
People forget that the most games Tom Osborne ever lost in a season was 3.
Right. That is true.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Was the earliest in a season Tom Osborne ever lost 3 games? Like, what was the earliest moment in a season? Was it the year they went 9-3-1?
That they lost 3? The earliest that they lost 3?
Yeah, what's the early, like, when was the earliest third loss?
Well,
in Tom Osborne's?
They started 81, 1-2.
So is it maybe 81?
No, but they didn't lose until and then they famously played for an outside shot at the national title in the Orange Bowl against Clemson. When they lost
all hope is not lost.
In 76, when they went 9-3-1, they didn't lose the third game until Oklahoma at the very end of and then they played Hawaii, and then they played Texas Tech in the bowl game.
I mean, my guess would be the earliest that they've ever lost 3 in a season
under Tom. Smile, Tom.
I'm
going to look it up.
Was probably an Oklahoma loss, and then they won the subsequent bowl
That's
game.
nuts.
I'm
all
pretty
right, I pulled
sure.
up all of the 3 loss seasons. All right, 1974, their third loss, Oklahoma. 1977, their third loss, Oklahoma. I already mentioned 76, by the way. 1978, Oklahoma the second time.
Yeah.
1981, Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson. Like
1985, Michigan in the bowl game.
Yep.
1990, Georgia Tech in the bowl game.
Yep.
And 1992, Florida State in the bowl game.
Yeah.
The earliest Tom Osborne ever lost his third game was Oklahoma.
Which was the last game of the regular season.
Good God. Good.
Like, I'm trying to think if there was even a season, John, you might have to help me, at least in my era, where there were 2 non-conference losses besides that 1981 season.
That's the only one.
That's the only one where there were 2 non-conference losses.
Yeah. Because the other times he lost 3 games, they ended up like 5-2 in the Big 8. Like they would lose an Iowa State or a Missouri and an Oklahoma. But yeah, no, I don't think he ever lost more than 1 non-conference game in the regular season.
Like, I think I could come up with all the non-conference losses from like 86 to 2000 probably. I mean, there's only a handful.
Yeah, there's not many. A
couple of Washingtons, 90 91 and 92. That's a couple of them. And then obviously there were none. And then Arizona State in 96.
Yep. Which was the last one.
And then let's see, I don't think there were any like
UCLA
97, obviously.
UCLA 1998.
And then after the national championships, there weren't any in 98 or 99. So that's it. I think we just came up with the entire list right there.
Crazy.
That's nuts.
That is absolutely crazy. All right. So what do you think of this idea? I'm sure you might endorse it. So Nick has come up with this. Nick kind of stumbled into this, but he said we're in the postseason now.
Yeah.
And every game from here on out is a bowl game because, they're not newsflash.
So it's a series. It's like a octuple header of bowl games.
Yep.
Essentially.
So not next week, not this week, obviously. And we get, usually there's a week or two between the regular season and the bowl games.
Yeah.
So it's perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we need to do is start coming up with names for all of these bowl games. So we need to name for the Indiana game.
Well,
something to do with the word respect.
Yeah, I know. It was so played out last week, mainly by me, and certain columnists having indirect wars of words. But the crazy thing is, from the respect end of things, this now is the exact opposite. First, you had an opponent that everyone said we respected, that I don't think we respected, and now you've got an opponent that thinks we disrespected them when I don't think we disrespected them. No one can get the proper level of respect accurate for any of these games, and I've got the answer to all of them. So the disrespect bowl, that's probably, it's not like Nebraska and Indiana have a long, right, like a long storied tradition of games that we can build a whole lot more off of.
Right
now, I would like this if it can be done, but could we move each of these games to a vacation destination?
Neutral site action.
If it's going to be a bowl game, that would be, that'd be nice if we could at least get a neutral. And given that it's not winter, I think we have a lot more freedom in where they could be played.
Well, it's not quite halfway, but there's an outside chance that if we move the Indiana game to Iowa City, they'll actually see some offense for the first time this year.
Oh, that'd be nice. That although I don't want weather interrupting it, so we don't.
Oh,
we
that's right. It's such,
take the gamble there.
Yeah, that's true. Terrible weather.
What do you think about this one from John? This is for the Illinois game, so we're looking ahead a little bit. But he says Illinois is the Brett Bulimic Offensive Lineman Bowl or the Bulima versus Bulimia Bowl.
I gotta go. Nebranoy.
Jokes about Nebraska's next head coach. Very unbecoming.
I gotta go with Nebranoy, the Nebranoy Bowl. I know that's obvious, but Nebranoy kid could ceremonially throw out the first coin flip. I know you guys have his contact information.
Yeah,
so that'd be good for that one. Okay. And they can put that one in Chicago if they want. Soldier Field has some nice turf. I know. That you could probably use.
Well, we can play it in the new Bears Dome.
Perfect. Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, if it's ready.
Yeah, if it's ready. If it's not, we'll play it at Wrigley Field.
Can we play the Iowa game at the Field of Dreams site? They change baseball fields to football fields all the time for bowl games.
That's true.
It's a great idea.
Could we play the Iowa
that out?
They probably could.
10,000 fans.
Yeah. Nebraskans.
Yeah. Plus, it's very Thanksgiving, isn't it? Like your family gets together, you go play football at a random park. My family actually never did that.
The corn wouldn't look as picturesque in November as it would.
It'd be plowed under. It'd be a barren field.
As it would, but still, nonetheless, I think there'd be something to that. Old-timey uniforms, old-timey, like the refs can wear old-timey stuff. We could have the goalposts with 2 stands instead of 1.
I like it.
Sitting in the ground.
Thompson and Trey Palmer can have a catch.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. No, bring out Charles Thompson. Have Charles Thompson walk out of the corner.
Charles?
Have him.
On that subject, I want to take partial responsibility for what happened on Saturday.
The King die?
Because I went down a rabbit hole. They have now condensed 30-minute versions of classic Husker games on YouTube.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
And so
Jack and I watched some of them this summer.
So I watched the Charles Thompson broke his leg game.
We did too.
We did too. Yeah.
Would have been a great podcast.
Yeah. It would have been a great podcast. So I think that bad juju, for the game on Saturday. Speaking of Saturday, we have to get to this. I'm curious. I'll play the video here for those for the 5 people who didn't see it. But
was this the Michael video?
Well, no.
Have you seen the Michael video?
It was
a Michael video. Have you heard about this?
But here's what happened Saturday in the pregame show.
No, I didn't know if Big Red was going to bring it today, and I'll tell you what, they brought it. They brought it. Go Big Red!
Yeah, they weren't interested in chanting "Go Big
They
Red"
did
at that
not.
point.
That was the weakest Go Big Red I've ever seen.
They're now bigger fans of Urban Meyer than the entire program.
Well, they are. So did that make you cringe?
Yeah, a little, but number one, I know they're going to be disappointed. So I cringe for their emotional well-being going forward when that does not happen. So that was a part of it. But it also, the way that they played that up at the beginning of the show, I don't know if you saw the very beginning of the show, but like right off the bat on the show, the host, who I can't remember his name,
Rob Stone.
He came out and kind of did the, how Lee Corso comes out for game day and Fox has to copy it because it's the inferior show, and he holds the helmets up and they want the cheers one and boos the other, and they get it. I mean, he kind of did that he had this ear of like Cornhead or something. But he was like, "Do you want this guy?" and pointing back to Urban, and they all went nuts. And as soon as they started doing that, I was like, if there was any thought in my mind that he was a possibility, it is now over. It is now taken care of, because he was okaying all that shtick, I'm sure, going along with it. Probably
they
helps
had
him.
to know there was going to be a reaction.
It probably helps him. I don't think he okays all that stuff. If that's really, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but yeah, I will say this: just taking in the game, cuddling Urban Meyer couple at the game with their T-shirt, all of that. There was more of a visible. There they are. And do we know what her shirt says yet?
I don't know. I can't tell. But he's obviously being consoled at that point because it just turned 28-7. Oklahoma.
And hey, Gus is still in the booth at that time.
And Gus was still in the booth at that time.
Maybe she's got a higher, maybe it's like one of those couples that are politically divided and they put both of the yard signs for different candidates up in my yard, yard. And her shirt is actually, you can't see, it says "Hire Dave Aranda." Right,
Dave Aranda.
Dave says that it said, "I want my beau friend back." And he says he saw them in the West Concourse.
I saw another angle of the picture.
I want my beau friend back. So apparently she got that shirt from Schick.
She's a big Bo Pelini fan.
Oh boy,
Jack. Let me ask you this. Because the whole bit the last couple of years have been all these close losses. Are you worrying at all about this job being bad from a rebuilding perspective? Like that it could mean they're not going to be able to land as good of a candidate, like today versus what you felt 3 days ago?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the rest of the season is going to determine just how much of a rebuild project that it looks like. But the trajectory that it's on now, it looks like. How many times have we talked about rock bottom, guys, in the program? John, you pointed this out, but I think we're on the verge of, at least the quality of the team, I think we're on the verge of a new level of rock bottom. I mean, I don't know. Would you take? Here's an interesting matchup, or maybe a little fun bit you guys could do. A fantasy. We played the best Husker teams of all time. How does this team match up against the Mike Riley team that took on Iowa in the last game of the year? Who you got? Who you making a favorite in that one?
So real quick before we answer, what's interesting about this question is, so in my lifetime, I would say 2007, 2017. And what am I forgetting in terms of worst ever? I mean, 2018 was 4
End of 2007.
End of 2007. But most, at least 07 and 17, Jack, they didn't get really, really bad. Like, we didn't know the depths of hell of Husker football until November with those teams.
Yep.
And that's the scary part about this one, is that it's September 19th and we're already throwing them in with the worst.
Suck is peaking early.
Yeah. And that's what you hope.
Maybe that's good.
Yeah, perhaps it is. But if it's not peaking early and the trajectory is even worse, then it's like, This one is on pace, definitely, to be the worst of the worst. It's on pace.
Yeah.
Just looking back, and I after Saturday, the defensive numbers. The defensive numbers are approaching, and in some ways exceeding, the 2017 defense for the season, and which is historical lows, yards per play, yards per carry, et cetera, et cetera. But this defense is already there.
Yeah. Yeah. So to get back to your original question, it could get to a point. I don't know that it's a little too early right now. And I'm not saying the trajectory is promising right now, but I don't know how the end of the season is going to go. You still hope that was such a bad situation between the opponent and between the lack of time that you had to really adjust to the new situation, that the next time they take the field, especially with a 2-week break, it's not going to look quite that bad for a number of reasons. But I don't know if it will. And yeah, Josh, if we're talking about 0 or 1 win the rest of the way, yeah, I think that probably does start to become a little bit of a factor in this whole thing, in terms of who's willing to do that. And it probably and frankly, it also probably shifts the candidates when we talk about sort of these genres of candidates. You've got the established Power 5 guys, you've got the Big Ten experienced guys, you've got the hot up and coming assistants, and then you've got whoever, and some could be in multiple groups, but then you've got the rebuilders who have come in previously into dire situations, either because of record, either because of culture, and things that have happened, off the field things that have happened. But I think as the season goes like that, those guys probably get some more attention. And that group, Lance Leipold's got to be in that group. Arguably maybe Matt Campbell, maybe in that group.
See, I would think at this point, if you're Trev Alberts, you're basing your decision on what you're seeing of them today, right? And you can't really change. You don't want to change too much. I mean, you need a rebuilder.
You're already looking. So you already have that at the top of the list now.
I think so. I think you have to. Yes,
okay.
You have to look for a program rebuilder or someone who has experience in rebuilding things like this.
Is somebody on the chat telling me to stop drinking the Kool-Aid? I just said they could get 0 or 1 wins. Good Lord. Is there any more fan base who is more vigilant about someone potentially being too positive when they're not too positive about their team? Good Lord. Twitter was a freaking just a landmine of annoying people for me, and I see it still coming here on the chat. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Okay.
I think it's because you wouldn't say that they are unequivocally the worst Husker team of all time. That means you're drinking too much Kool-Aid.
Well, first of all, you can't quantify that because you got to go back into the 50s to find
the thirst for this fan base to just immerse themselves in every way, not even give yourself any possible life of enjoyment. You can't mention that other teams are doing badly. You can't you've got to live a life. You've got to become like a nun of Husker badness. You've got to have a vow of chastity and poverty and all these things. It's a weirdest fan base lately, but nonetheless, John, let's say you're right, or let's say I'm right, that it's down the road. That's legitimately, I think, an interesting question, because I haven't talked about the coaching search in that term. Like, who is the most qualified and experienced at going into a complete S show and coming in and really turning it around?
Well,
that's why Leipold is going to keep climbing the list.
Campbell are going to be higher on a list like that, because look at where they're succeeding.
Yeah.
And look at what Leipold has done with Kansas. I mean, Kansas was the depths of hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got done with the overreaction show, and Kansas was down 14-0. And I thought, all right, here's where reality slaps Kansas in the face. Go out to mow my lawn, listen to the end of the K-State game. Chris Kleiman, now he's off the list because, they lost.
Get him off the list.
But then I switched over to the KU game and listened to KU game, and it was the Houston broadcast. And they're going on and on about how Kansas is just kicking their butt from stem to stern. And they basically reverse the score in a half a quarter or a quarter. And then they go on to win by, what was it, 17 or something like that?
Yeah, I was going to say, they won by double digits. Yeah.
This is Kansas.
Yes. And I mean, right. And that was a dire situation. In fact, that was a dire situation for a decade. In some ways, I don't remember who I was talking about, if I said it on my show or with Josh or what, but in some ways, like the last decade of Kansas flailing, trying to find the right coach and going through all kinds of weird ideas that didn't work, or maybe seemingly good ideas. It's kind of mirrored what Nebraska's gone through in some ways.
If KU makes a bowl game this year, which, by the way, they're already halfway to the win total, you better keep your eyes out for Lance Leipold. As being by the way, serious contender for this job.
If Nebraska keeps doing worse and Kansas keeps doing better too, that he's going to become more of a public, and he's got that Nebraska tie. He is going to, if we talk again in a month, and we're still talking about this, I think there will be a different level of interest and support for him among the fan base when you get to people's hot boards. And which, by the way, I'd never heard the term hot board until a week ago.
By the way, going back to what John said about program builders, that's why I think a Bill O'Brien is very interesting in this discussion. I know he doesn't have a whole lot of college experience, but the 2 years that he had at Penn State and what he walked into,
I think he came into a great situation, Josh.
Yeah, you want to talk about depths of hell. I don't know if we really appreciate as much now, given that like the bowl ban was removed pretty fast. It was removed after 2 years, but that was toxic. That was incredibly toxic back in 12.
By the way, there's a shot. I'm looking at KU's schedule. Their next 3 games are at home. They get Duke this week on FS1.
That's a win.
They get Iowa State after that. Again, this is at home. That could be an elimination game
day
in not Frost world. And then they have TCU before they travel to Oklahoma and Baylor. They could be 6-0 going to Oklahoma.
Wow.
I would say they
could be on Big Noon kickoff.
I don't know what the consensus is on TCU. I know they blew out Colorado, who I made the mistake on Twitter suggesting they might be the worst power conference team. And then all the Nebraska fans wanted me to be reminded, no, Jack, you can't say that. You can't. Have you been watching our own team? Oh, God. Can I repeat again what I said earlier? It's fan base. Is it trying to get through these times with parts of this fan base who are so vigilant, so very vigilant that you're not being negative enough about your team is just incensing. But yeah, I don't know about TCU. John, you could almost say they might be favorites in all those games.
Yeah, they could.
Poor Jack. It's not poor Jack. I'm just annoyed. If you did it, I'm annoyed with you.
Oh, I know. I understand.
Yeah.
No, they very well could be favorites in all those games.
Kansas?
We could be talking Kansas, Oklahoma, Big Noon kickoff, middle of October.
That'd be pretty
Is
awesome.
that in Lawrence? Is that in Lawrence or
it's in Norman?
Oh, boo!
That would have gotten game day there for them finally, since they got screwed this week.
Yeah, where did they decide to go?
Tennessee, Florida. It's 1998.
Jeez,
in Florida. T. Martin. Florida's they lost and then they played poorly against USF.
Yeah. I guess
Kansas. They've never been to Kansas.
They didn't want to do 2 sticky game days in a row.
No,
Last week they went to Appalachian.
No, you know
State
what I think it is? I think John. I mean, look, if they win this weekend, which I think they're favorites, right, against Kansas.
Against Duke? Oh yeah.
Maybe they're waiting for the Iowa State game. Maybe that's what they're hoping for, because that'd be 2 undefeated Big 12 teams. But man, the Kansas Duke basketball thing could have been hilarious. They could have had that. They could have brought in Roy Williams. They could have brought in Bill Self. They could have brought in Coach K. They could have had a blast.
Oh, it would have been fun.
Yeah, I thought that would be the angle they would go with it. They'd bring it. Yeah, that they would have brought in their college basketball coverage team. They would have had Dickie V. They would have brought Dickie V as their special guest guesser. It would have been great. But I know you guys don't watch it, so I don't know why you care.
Yeah, so there was a tweet real fast, Jack, before we let you go, from Greg and Lincoln. The big tidbit here: Jack is still a team game day guy. Enjoy your Des and Max.
I know. I already had your chat already harassed me for that. So
saw
that. Probably the same guy. Yeah. No, but I do thank you guys. Thanks. I was starting to get too positive about the season. Really have high expectations for how our things are going to go, and I just appreciate you all putting me in place. It's such a nice service. I don't even know what that means. Are we going to win outright? I have no idea. Win outright? What, in the next game against Indiana?
Yes.
I have no idea what that even is.
They just need to win the bye week first.
Idle
week. We gotta stop this.
Idle week.
Idle week.
Idle, not bye.
Idle week.
They're not getting a bye against
anything. They're not getting a bye.
Yeah.
They're just having an idle.
Yeah.
No. I just, they're right. The nation's best fans at reminding other fans that their team is in dire straits. There's no better fans who have walked through these gates at doing that.
I would love to have that sign changed to read
Through
exactly
these gates, walk people who
and
are
then
mad
exactly
online.
what Jack just said, even
Okay.
with all the uhs and the pauses in the middle. And
Yeah,
it'd
it
be
wasn't very good.
Well, no, but it'd be a beautiful sign.
It wasn't be very good. Hey, listen.
Because once you sell out,
guys,
you won't be able to claim to be Gray's fans anymore.
just because Nebraska has idle or bye this week and they're not going to get a loss does not mean they've gotten better. Okay, so you need to watch what you're saying. We don't need the Kool-Aid. Okay.
Hey, Jack, before you go, did you listen to season 1 of Serial, the podcast? Do you remember that back in the day?
I remember it. I did. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't listen to it.
It just announced apparently that Adnan Syed's conviction was thrown out, and he's going to be released from prison. How about? Got any takes?
Absolutely zero, because I know no. I listened to the one. Was it Serial? I listened to the
one
Biggie.
about Sugar Golden Smacks,
Oh,
or
come
about
on, John! A guy was in
corn
prison
pops?
and
I listened to the one about Biggie Smalls and Tupac.
No, that's not Serial.
What is that one?
That's
Grape Nuts is a cereal.
What is that one?
And they had one on the Clinton.
Yeah, that's not Serial. That's not Serial. That's
What's
Slow
that?
Burn.
Slow Burn. Oh, sorry, I got
Slow
it
Burn.
confused.
Yeah. All right.
Never had it with milk.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Serial was huge in 2014.
They're still good today. I have a couple of boxes in my pantry right now.
Through these gates go realistic fans. That's oh, and making sure anything else that anyone else says could not border on unrealistic. So, man,
Royals have been mathematically eliminated.
What are we doing? Let's say goodbye before we say anything mean.
Yeah, I've finally been.
Put Jack in his place. He's being too positive.
Hey,
Eric says the saying entering the stadium should be changed to "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here."
Yes, that is the sign.
Come on, Trav.
I always thought that should have been the sign that was hanging above the opponent's locker room door when they walked out. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
But I mean, it's set. It's already set in place this year. You guys know one of the ways I still derive any joy from the college football season, when Nebraska's having a terrible one, and guess what? I'm starting to become a veteran of that, is to enjoy the demise of others.
And then people are like, Jack, stop it.
Make
You're
fun
a
of the
Husker
demise of
fan.
others.
Stop
And they're like,
talking trash.
and people are like, you don't have standing. You don't have standing to talk bad about any other team until the team you cheer for gets it straight together.
Yeah.
That's not a rule. Shut up. I'm so tired of you.
Josh would have been silent for the last 26 years.
Hey, that's not true. Whenever they beat the
Cowboys
Eagles,
joke.
I'm able to make fun of the Eagles.
We seriously have some of the least fun people, some of the biggest fun haters. When I'm looking for fun and creating fun, they are still there to crush it.
They're fan Nazis. I've said this before. Fan Nazis.
I mean, I just think you look silly when you do it, but you're allowed to. I wouldn't do it.
Oh, you're in the group too? Oh, okay, great. Well,
they lost 49-14. I'm not going to hop on Twitter and be like, ha ha, other teams suck. That's embarrassing.
Why? You have no. I don't have any.
I just don't do it.
Sucking is not mutually exclusive. It happens all the time to many teams.
Brian says, doesn't Jack hate when people enjoy Nebraska ball's demise? Interesting.
Do I hate when people enjoy
Nebraska? Remember, one of your bits in basketball season is other people should want us to be better because we've gone through a lot.
Hold on. Find me a football program that is anywhere near the depths of devastation and sadness that Nebraska ball is that I've done that to. I will wait.
Kansas
before Lance Leipold.
Kansas before Lance Leipold.
Have I done that to
Lance
Kansas?
Leipold for Nebraska ball.
There you go.
Kansas is nowhere near my list of the usual suspects. Terrible take. Terrible take.
Vandy football sucks.
Vandy football.
I haven't tweeted about Vandy football in my freaking life. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Let's talk about
all these. I mean, you guys are contorting yourself in arguments.
Brian, you're contorting yourself.
You're contorting yourself.
Stop contorting.
All right, Jack. Go.
Jordan says Nebraska football. Who's Nebraska basketball, college football? Nebraska football.
Right. And so I'm defending their honor like I should.
What honor?
All right, Jack. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, Jack.
Don't forget anyone. Nebraska's having a bad season, and don't say anything that could take away from that being immersed in that at all times.
By the way, I was reminded that today when I passed by the Blue Cross Blue Shield billboard, they had already switched it over to the Indiana game.
Wow, they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have done that. The fans need to remember and know that things are going terribly. Thanks, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Also, make better cards. The ink always rubs off. My insurance card. It's a piece of garbage. It's a piece of garbage insurance card. Why does putting it in a wallet 5 times take that low quality ink off?
I laminated, I guess. I don't know. I can't help it.
Got rid of my laminating machine.
Josh, please tell us about Miracle Hill.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. You know, sometimes you're having a stressful football season and you want to maybe take out some of that frustration on, I don't know, anything. Why not go to the Top Tracer building, set a golf ball down, take out your driver, and absolutely mash that out into the driving range. That is one of the many things that you can do today at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis inside of the Top Tracer building. We are about to get past the warm days. Finally, it seems like tomorrow might be the last one. And then fall weather, crisp, cool, comfortable fall weather, which means that you want to get out there and play some golf. 402-498-0220. Give them a call. They recently hired an additional golf instructor there to go along with Mike Favre. So if you are looking to get that swing better, you're looking to go into the winter months up to par and where you want to be before next spring arrives, they can help you out there. All you got to do is give them a call inside of the golf shop today. 402-498-0220. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Very warm into the evening with the temperatures in the 80s and that south breeze blowing. Clear to partly cloudy tonight. We'll only drop back in the lower 70s for low. And then sunny skies and record heat coming for Tuesday with highs in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
There are actually 2 kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
It's 42 Degrees 10th anniversary sale, and we have great deals for you. Want to save up to 75% on Kratom CBD, Delta products, pipes, vaporizers, e-juice, candles, and more? Then go to any 42 Degrees location, talk with the most knowledgeable, friendly, professional staff with savings up to 75%. That's right, save up to 75% during our 10th anniversary sale on Kratom CBD, Delta products, pipes, vaporizers, e-juice, candles, and more at the source by your mom's house.
This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers, offers exterior solutions that help you protect your number one investment. Whether it's roofing and siding or windows and doors, they're committed to excellence, quality, and outstanding customer service in every step of the process. When it's time to protect the exterior of your home, your choice is simple. Turn to who the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Check them out online and schedule a free estimate today. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Shingles add beauty, protection, and value to your home. You want CertainTeed shingles. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is a certified CertainTeed shingle master. When it comes to your roof, CertainTeed shingles and Carp's have you covered. Online at carpsomaha.com.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
I'm worried it's never going to get bigger.
On 1620 The Zone.
Hit us up anytime in the email inbox. That's the Equitable Bank inbox. John at 1620thezone.com or Josh at 1620thezone.com.
That's where Amazing Daniel finds us. He says, I know how I can come across, and he adds in parentheses, earned. So please understand this is a legitimate question. I'm not angling anything here. What, as fans, are we to make of reports that there is no way Alberts would even consider Meyer, that he was not offered the job and not interested in it, when other media, I think former player/media, Adam Carricker, telling us they did meet and have mutual interest. Someone is either outright lying or at best reporting something they have not confirmed. In this case, both of those things cannot be true at the same time. Fair or not, that kind of stuff reflects poorly on reporting overall and makes it difficult for fans to parse through things. Just trying to understand why one or the other is being misleading, whether it's purposeful or just laziness. Now, I'll say this before we get into this. I have not seen whatever Carricker did or didn't say. Have you? Do you know what he said?
I saw something to the effect that, you know, that there was a meeting, and I think some of it too. And
there was a meeting,
and you have to. That's the thing. You have to be able to parse certain things. It was reported by Denny Dodd of CBS Sports.
He was the first person to report
that there was a meeting.
And here's what he said, though. I'm going to read this because he kind of couches it with the quote from Trev. He has that, but he says it was not made clear whether Meyer was asked about his interest in holding the job. So he says that they met, and that's what he reported. Who was the second person to report anything on Saturday? Was it Thamel?
Then Pete Thamel said basically
they met, but they didn't talk about, or he.
Well, Thamel said that Urban's going to stay put.
Correct. And again, I don't know what Adam Carricker said, but I go back to the quote from Trev. You're going to hear about a lot of names.
Yes,
that's good. That means we're going to talk to a lot of people because we're going to clearly define what our values are, and we're not going to hire coaches who don't believe in what we believe in. They did meet. They met. I don't think that it was to gauge Urban's interest in the job. I think it was Urban has contacts and Urban knows people, and to get the lay of the land of, hey, how good of a job do you think Nebraska is? What type of people could we be looking at here for this job? That's what I think the meeting was about. I do not think that it was anywhere near him getting offered a job. Definitely.
No.
Definitely not.
No. And that can lead us, and we'll take a break. We'll come back, and I will lay out the case why I think Urban Meyer is not a good candidate for Nebraska's next head football coach. And I won't, eventually it'll get to that point, but I won't even start with the personal demon side of things, because I think there's some things people are conveniently forgetting about Urban Meyer.
Okay.
And in the relationship to this job and the, dare I say, Herculean task the next coach has in rebuilding this program. Because as I said on Saturday, and I stand behind it, when the dust settles on this season, we're going to learn that this program is in worse shape post Scott Frost than it was post Mike Riley. 402-951-1620. Back with that explanation after this on 1620 The Zone.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours. Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Only on 1620 The Zone.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Email Sharp and Benning on the Equitable Bank inbox with your love, your hate, whatever your hot takes are. We're here for you. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power and savings with style. Not to mention top tech to help keep you connected. Plush, premium interiors, and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. With a hybrid or electric vehicle built for every driver. Seriously, dear gas prices? Do you really think you can stand in our way? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers. Cortland Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
Introducing the all-new 2 for $5 menu at Sonic. Can't decide on what to eat? We made the choice a little easier for you. Right now at Sonic, you can choose any 2 of these mouth-watering classics. The full-size Fritos chili cheese wrap, small crispy jumbo popcorn chicken, or a juicy quarter-pound double cheeseburger for just $5. Get more of what you want with the all-new 2 for $5 menu, only at Sonic or in the app. Exclusions apply. Mobile ordering available at select locations. Hours may vary. Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins. Fritos is a trademark of Frito-Lay North America, Inc. Copyright 2022.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power and savings with style. Not to mention top tech to help keep you connected. Plush, premium interiors, and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. With a hybrid or electric vehicle built for every driver. Seriously, dear gas prices? Do you really think you can stand in our way? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers. Cortland Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
The 2022-23 Creighton sports season holds great promise for competing for Big East and national honors, and 1620 The Zone will be there all year long. The 1620 The Jays podcast covers all of Blue Jay sports, from volleyball, soccer, and cross country in the fall to basketball in the winter, plus baseball, softball, tennis, golf, and rowing. Join me, John Bishop, along with Josh Peterson and Connor Happer each week for interviews with Creighton student athletes and coaches. It's the 1620 The Jays podcast. New episodes each Friday on 1620thezone.com and on Twitter at 1620 The Jays.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is from Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard. Get 2 anytime passes for the price of 1. An $80 value for just $40. Over 50 attractions are included. The Pumpkin Eating Dragon, the new carousel, a barnyard challenge course, zip line, train rides, and more. Vala's Pumpkin Patch, open September 23rd.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com. 1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
If you heard it once, you heard it.
I didn't know if Big Red was going to bring
the We Want Urban chants during the Fox pregame show on Saturday. We've both been on record that we don't think Urban Meyer is a good choice for Nebraska.
And look, I'll be honest. Part of it is because I'm just not entertaining that the athletic director is entertaining it. So I'll be like, that's kind of where I begin. And I just,
and I agree, but I begin on the fact I don't think it is a good choice. Forget about whether or not I think Trev should or shouldn't go after. Well, I don't even think Trev should entertain it.
Yeah.
Should not entertain it. And we know for most people, the number one reason is
he wins.
No, the reason against him.
The
reason why
because
people
he's a scumbag.
Because he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Because he's got personal demons. He makes idiotic choices.
Yeah.
He's got skeletons in his closet.
That's where it begins for, I would say, the majority of people who don't want him at all.
So let me take this from a different angle. Let's take the whole personal demons thing for just a moment, and like an FBI most wanted poster, just pin it up against the post office wall. Just set it aside for just a moment.
Okay.
Because the other thing I hear is, well, those are risks where, he wins. So, every candidate has risks. Lance Leipold's never been at Nebraska before or coached Nebraska like this before. Matt Campbell, he's never won a Big 12 championship before. There's risks with everybody. Okay, fine. We can accept that.
Sure.
There's no such thing, we should know it better than anybody, as a surefire hire. Thought we had one 4 years ago. Obviously, that wasn't true. There is no such thing as a surefire hire. But let me make a case before I unpin the personal demons that Urban Meyer has risks. Number one, he has never rebuilt a Power 5 program. I'm talking rebuilt. This program, we've all seen it. It needs help. When he took over at Florida, they were still coming off winning seasons under Ron Zook. Now, they weren't winning at the same level as Steve Spurrier, but they were still winning. And oh, by the way, Ron Zook, hell of a recruiter. So
He left him with a starting quarterback that won a national title.
So anybody who says, oh, he's got a history of rebuilding, not at the Power 5 level. The last time Urban Meyer actually rebuilt something you can say was Utah, way back in 2002. When Utah was a Mountain West Conference school.
Yeah, at the time, what we would have called a non-BCS team.
Okay, so it's not a guarantee. Just because he wins at Ohio State and Florida does not mean he's going to win here, because he didn't have to rebuild those programs. And one of the reasons why he didn't have to rebuild those programs was because he has never coached at a Power 5 program in a state that already didn't have a built-in talent base. He's going to have to work his ass off here. More than he did at Ohio State and more than he did at Florida. That's a fact. That is a fact. Because he can't just go into Lincoln or into Omaha and get the caliber of players that he was able to get when he was in Gainesville and when he was in Columbus. That is a fact. So, yes, there are still risks for hiring Urban Meyer. The other part of it was brought up last week by Stephen Godfrey. College football has changed pretty dramatically since Urban Meyer was last coaching in it. And I'm talking about the player empowerment era. It's a different day and age. The transfer portal has opened up a whole new world. And I'm not saying he couldn't adapt, but he didn't have to deal with that at Ohio State. And there's going to be, and as we've seen in Lincoln, it's a swinging door right now. So to be able to stabilize all that, that's something he has not had to deal with. So now we can go and take the pen out of the paper and set it on the table and talk about the personal demons. Yes, the personal life, the behavior is highly questionable. Each of the last three stops, Jacksonville, Ohio State, Florida, all ended poorly, to say the least, with serious controversy. And I have maintained Nebraska right now, as an athletic department, as a football program, is not prepared to handle the aftermath of the drama that will happen, because it does not end well usually for Urban Meyer, because something's going to happen, because this is who he is. Part of that, walking that thin line is maybe what made him great. But you see, Ohio State can handle that. Ohio State's been a great program for the last 25 years.
Well, I mean, look at them in our lifetime. They barely have a bad season.
Right.
Barely have a bad season.
That was a strong-ass program. He inherited a very strong program that was able to just take right up and lead and go from there because they're in a state with a built-in talent base, and it's a strong-ass program. Nebraska's not in that spot. And I also don't believe that his style matches the image that Trev Alberts wants for the athletic department.
Thank you.
That may be the most important thing to some people.
Yeah, I would say it is. I mean, he's the one making the hire.
Now, one last thing. Consider this. Those of you might be saying, okay, well, he didn't have to rebuild anything. He took on a challenge with the Jacksonville Jaguars that, from an NFL perspective, was some heavy lifting. I mean, Jacksonville was in some low spots.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to where Nebraska is today in college football. They're a low spot, very low. It's not too dissimilar to compare those situations from that standpoint. So why was it that after his fourth game in this reclamation rebuild project, after they lose a tough game that they almost won at Cincinnati, he decides, send the team back to Jacksonville. I'm going to go to Columbus. And that's where the infamous lap dance photo shows up. This is Urban Meyer in the midst of a very heavy lifting rebuild. I don't think Urban Meyer really wants to work that hard. And it was apparent how things went in Jacksonville.
And real quick, we're just coming off of a week where that was a large discussion with Scott Frost. And you want that again? You want a coach that's not that engaged like that again?
I don't think he was in the right mind space in Jacksonville. And I don't think he's in the right mind space now because all of these other things that have gone under the bridge are still him. It's still who he is. I don't think he's got the energy for this kind of a job. I don't think he totally is equipped for this kind of job because he's never had to do this kind of a job because the rebuild in Lincoln is a true rebuild. He didn't have to rebuild the Florida Gators.
Mm-hmm.
He just had to polish them up a little bit. And I give him credit. Great job.
Yeah.
Same with Ohio State. But those situations are not as low as the one he would be facing in Lincoln, Nebraska. And we already saw where his mind was when he had to deal with similar consequences in Jacksonville. He wasn't ready for it. And I don't think he had the energy or the desire to have to deal with it. Remember all those stories, Josh, with Pete King and all the NFL writers who were talking about, man, I just don't know if Urban Meyer is going to have the patience for this. As badly as he wants to win, how's he going to handle being able to lose?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't handle it very well.
Nope. And
We had a call to the call-in show on Saturday saying, Urban comes in here, they'll win 10 games right away. Are you kidding me?
No way. No way.
Hell no.
And on top of that, too, that this is coming in a different era of college football. 2018, his last year, was the first year of the portal, so he'd never really had to deal with it.
Never.
Obviously didn't have to deal with name, image, likeness.
And some might say, well, name, image, likeness, great equalizer. Everybody's got name, image, likeness now.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska's got no inherent advantages over Alabama or Florida State. Hell, they don't even, or Ohio State. By the way, here's one last thing. As much as Urban Meyer says he loves Ohio State, you think he wants to coach in a conference with his former employer?
Ohio State?
Ohio State. With him having intimate knowledge of just how strong that program is? You factor all of those things together, Urban Meyer is not the answer, ladies and gentlemen.
A couple more things real fast for Sipple. As I refer to him, noted Wisconsin fan Kyle says, got to tell you, I get a huge sense of relief every time I hear you guys say Nebraska won't hire a guy that went 83-9 in the Big Ten. That's pretty funny.
At Ohio State, Kyle. At Ohio State.
That said, he also, USC, Notre Dame, both of those jobs opened last year. from all reports, didn't really pursue them. Like, I would ask this question to finish this whole segment up. Like, are we sure he even wants to coach anymore?
I don't think he does.
Are we sure he wants to coach anymore, let alone coach at a job, again, like you just said?
And if he
like
does,
this?
it would have to be at a place that has some inherent advantages.
Correct. I don't think he wants to do the work. Look, this is not the Urban Meyer of 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago.
No, you're not getting Urban Meyer 2013.
I think the one thing that you would hold out hope for, and again, I don't think they're going to hire him, but I think the one thing you're holding out hope for is that he comes in on a warpath wherever he goes. And he is just so pissed off that it turns into, like, I think that there was some of that with him in Ohio State. I just don't think that guy's there anymore. I don't.
402-951-1620. Coming up next, I'm sure Steve Sipple will disagree.
Ha!
On 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. You know, I was up in the broadcast booth 9 days ago, and as I watched the football game, one of the things that I was so incredibly grateful and happy for was not having glasses anymore. In the old days, it was a lot more difficult to be up there. This time, it was not. I could see everything on the field as clearly as possible, and I had an absolute great time. If you've been rocking the glasses like I did for maybe decades, I wore them for almost 20 years. Maybe you've had the contacts and, hey, most of the time it doesn't really bother you, but you have a long day at the office, or we get close to wintertime and the eyes are scratchy and you're dealing with that all day and you're just ready for a new change. Perhaps you're ready for a new look. I've talked to multiple people who've gone to the folks at Kugler Vision, ready for clarity and better vision, but also, you know what? I also didn't want to have glasses on anymore. They can help you out. 7 different modern vision correction procedures. One of the closest people in my life had one of those procedures done within the last month. She is so incredibly happy. She loves the new life that she is living. Give them a call today at 402-558-2211. You have questions, they will have answers for you, and you can ditch those glasses and enjoy football games from the top of the stands all the way down to the 100 level. Visit their website today, kuglervision.com.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, More Time Saving Traffic Center. The accident on Northwest Radial and the accident on 60th are both cleaned up. The accident down in Gretna is still being worked on, though. Dodge Street and L Street have the amount of congestion that you would expect on a Friday. 80, 680, and JFK are all still pretty slow, and that darn traffic light on 32nd is still out. My name's Conrad. This has been your afternoon traffic.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Burton AC, Plumbing, Heating, and More.
Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More. Right now, we'll open your drain line for only $93 or it's free. Call for details or request service at justcallburton.com.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
Tom McCarthy here from Westwood One. Coming up, a 2-for-1 Monday night NFL special. Up first, Ross Tucker and I will bring an AFC matchup with the Tennessee Titans at the Buffalo Bills. And after that, Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will be in Philadelphia for the call of NFC action with the Eagles hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Join us on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1620, The Zone.
Come on, we're going to be late to the cookout.
I was just packing up my famous mac and cheese.
I hope you packed the Pepto, too.
Huh?
Pepto-Bismol provides fast relief from heartburn and indigestion. You know, that uncomfortable feeling after you eat too much. And after the deviled eggs, baked beans, and barbecue ribs, you're going to need it.
Barbecue ribs? I should probably pack an extra shirt, too.
Good call.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
I think we can settle into mediocre radio for a little bit here.
I called in from Lincoln. I was driving in my car, covering the Huskers, riding for. We talk every Monday at this time. I'm a friend of the program and they are mine. Hoiberger's bad, but Frost is. My name's Sipple and I'm alright.
I stressed threesome.
You know, Nick, what you could have done, because they both start with the word F, is you could change that to fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're going to get a new one. This is the last week you're going to hear this one.
This is the last week?
New one next week.
Oh, wow. Sip, how do you feel about that?
Whoa.
Whoa, indeed.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I'm excited. I don't think I have any control over any of this.
No,
so.
definitely not.
I won't be singing this time. I got roasted enough last time. So sorry. Sip.
Oh, good. Good.
John, who roasted it?
Say what?
People roast my
we
singing.
all did, remember? Because we
Everyone
liked the Stibs Open. And then Nick got
Stibs is objectively a better singer than I am.
Definitely.
But I'm funnier. So
imitating Petty's a hard thing to do, and I thought you did an admirable job, actually.
Wow.
Thank you, Sip.
It was an admirable job. It was an admirable job. So, Sip, did Mickey Joseph need to fire Chinander because the defense was just that bad, or did it need to be also a message of sorts sent to the locker room?
Yeah, legit question. I think that if you preach accountability, and if you preach accountability in Mickey's shoes, and the defense, back-to-back weeks plays at a level that's wholly unacceptable, then, part of accountability sometimes involves being dismissed for lack of production. And you would say that the defense is not producing at a high level, and that ultimately falls on the defensive coordinator, or ultimately falls on the head coach. We've made that move. So, there's some logic in this. So, and it's playing bad. It's bad defense right now.
Like, as you've taken a step back now with about 24 hours to think about the move, like, do you think it results in anything noticeably better, or is this just now an 8-game countdown and just kind of get through this thing as fast as possible?
There's going to be changes. We'll see. I just don't think there's any magic trick here.
Yeah.
There's an oddity in this that's self-evident but worth pointing out, and that is they don't stop the run or the pass, and that's sort of odd for a defense. Usually, even pretty bad defense can stop. Pretty bad defenses can sort of at least stop one of them, but Nebraska is they're 116th nationally in completion rate, which is teams are completing 66.5%, and they're 71st in yards per attempt, opponent's yards per attempt passing. So they're not, and obviously they're not stopping the run. They're worse against the run. So it's odd. I mean, that's sort of an oddity. No easy answers. I think that it's become very clear this is largely a recruiting discussion. The recruiting was so substandard that they're in this massive fix.
Even if you think that Mickey Joseph deserves a shot at the big chair, I'm speaking more generally, not just you individually, Sip, but just talking to the audience in general. Even if you think Mickey deserves a shot at the big chair, is this even a fair place to start an analysis of his abilities to do the job?
Oh,
does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it makes sense.
Because I mean, things are so weird right now that you know how you sometimes take a practice test. Hey, let's see how you do on this practice test, and you give them a practice test that's so impossible that it's like,
what can we really learn here?
Yeah, I think there's some elements of it where you can judge Mickey, but not for on. Unfortunately, I don't think you can really take much away from what they're doing on the field, especially defensively. Now, I'd say offensively and special teams, though, yeah, he should be able to get you can measure that. The defense is in such disrepair, and he just has virtually nothing to do with that side of the ball, or he did before. Now he does. I mean, of course he does now. He's overseeing the whole thing, but it's in such disrepair that it's hard to pin any of that on Mickey. Now, on offense, it's a little different story. I mean, he's got guys he's recruited, the receivers that are playing out there, most of them that are playing a lot, he's recruited. He does have a hand in that. And, he is ultimately responsible for overall play now. But yeah, you can judge, but man, you got to be in that judgment. You have to make a distinction. You have to draw a line, and be able to separate everything else from that defense. That's nothing. That's not on.
Sip, on Saturday after the game, Miles Farmer mentioned that they've been tagging off for 4 years in practice rather than tackling. And I heard that quote, and I was thinking over the weekend about the obvious magnitude of the rebuild now that kind of sits in front of the program. You were on with Happer on Friday, as you are every week, and you said that you thought the program would be left in a better spot than it was in 2017. I wonder if you still feel that way, or if you think your mind could change on that, and if so, like, does the magnitude of this thing scare off anybody?
What did I say?
You said that, like, you thought the program would be left in a better spot for the next head coach than what Frost inherited 2017.
God, did I say that?
Yeah.
I'm surprised I said that. I don't remember.
Because you brought up the facility, and the money that they're going to be walking into. Yeah.
From that standpoint, I was thinking about personnel more than anything. Not personnel wise, it's not going to be in better shape.
Yeah.
They're going to lose. They're in part because they're going to.
The portal.
There might be only 40 players left. So, I think from a standpoint of that big facility and their NIL operation, the coach isn't going to walk into a terrible situation that way. Are you asking me if it really unravels, will that impact Trev's ability to find the right coach? Is that the question?
Yeah, basically. Like, is this job maybe so in such dire straits that it's not as good as some of us would like to believe it is?
You know what? Yeah, it's a legitimate question. And I just think, Josh, that it depends on which coach you're talking to.
Sure.
I mean, I think not everybody's going to size it up the same. Not everybody's.
But if one really good coach does, then it's like, hey, you got the one.
Yeah. But there's coaches like for instance, I wouldn't think Lance Leipold. And I'm not advocating for Lance necessarily, but I wouldn't think a coach like Lance Leipold would win at all, having gone into Kansas' situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it sort of depends on who you're talking to. So, but yeah, listen, it's a mess.
Yeah.
Some coaches might look at it like, man, the bar is incredibly low. I'm going to have very little pressure on me to start out and a lot of money in my pocket. Low pressure, a lot of money. I mean, I just try to think like a coach and try to think like what I would tell my family. Hey, we're going in here. We're going to make a lot of money, and there's not going to be a lot of pressure to win immediately because the bar is incredibly low at this point in Nebraska. So, yeah, again, depends on who you're talking to, Josh.
So why are you an Urban Meyer disciple?
Well, I'm not an Urban Meyer disciple, but I mean,
why should he be considered? Why if you were talking to Trev, why should he be considered?
Wouldn't he be considered? It's
because he's a wreck.
That it's so logical. It's such a lot. You're looking for the guy who gives you the best chance, and to muddy up that conversation unnecessarily, just flat
with what? What's unnecessarily muddying up the conversation?
With the transgressions. I mean,
that ended all three of his previous stops very poorly.
Listen, if Nebraska doesn't hire him, somebody's got him. We're going to be looking at that school for the next 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. You think Nebraska? If Nebraska doesn't, well, I mean, I don't know if Nebraska will have a chance. Do you think he's not going to get hired?
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to coach anymore.
Are you just suggesting that we're somehow exalted and we can't do this, but someone else can?
No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that I'm not convinced. I'm not even convinced he wants to do it or he has the energy to do it. I mean, he had a tough situation in Jacksonville, and he basically checked out on them. And then Jacksonville, the worst franchise in the league, said, we can't even deal with this guy.
I mean, I just go back to what I said. I don't know. I know what you're doing. You're trying to turn the conversation. But if he wants a job, he'll get one. I mean, that's the way that works.
But that's part of it. I don't even think he wants the job. And here's my overriding point, Sip. Forget about the personal stuff. Where has Urban Meyer had success in the Power Five where he had to rebuild a program?
Well, he hasn't. But are you
exactly
betting against him? Would you?
I would bet against him based on what I observed. He had a similar, and I realize they're different levels, but he had a similar task ahead of him in Jacksonville, and mentally he wasn't ready for it. And I don't think he had the energy for it. He inherited a solid enough foundation at Florida.
They won the title 2 years later.
And he inherited a great situation at Ohio State.
Won the title 3 years later.
He's not inheriting that in Nebraska. And what was one of the big knocks against Urban Meyer last year at this time? Wow, is he going to have the patience to suffer through some losing seasons? Because he's probably going to have to suffer through a losing season or two.
I'm still startled by the comment. You can find somebody better than Urban Meyer. Okay, all right. I mean, we just have to agree.
You can find somebody. Yes, you can find somebody better than Urban Meyer for Nebraska's situation. Yes, you can. You think Nebraska is strong enough a program to survive the drama that's going to come with him and the whatever crap storm is left behind in his wake?
The drama would last a week. It'd be long forgotten.
I'm sorry, but man, this is not a spot for this. It's just not. Nebraska needs help. And just because he won at Florida and Ohio State does not mean he's going to win in Lincoln, Nebraska. Because I don't even think he has the energy or the interest to do it.
You can say that about anybody. I mean, just because Mark Stoops wins at Kentucky doesn't mean he wins here. Just because Lance Leipold wins at Kentucky or Kansas doesn't mean
of course not.
Here.
Of course not.
You could say that about anybody.
Sure, you could. You could. But with none of those other guys that you mentioned, are you bringing in any of the demons and the unnecessary drama and the scorn that you're going to get?
Plus, Sip, are you as confident that he could? I mean, you obviously are because you're advocating for him, but that he could recruit at the level he once did, given the controversy that would follow.
Oh, but Josh, it's okay. There's just as much 5-star talent here in Lincoln and Omaha as there is in the state of Florida and Ohio.
He could recruit at a high level. I mean, he could recruit at a higher level than what's gone on here in a long time. I think he can get you the quarterback you need. I do. I don't know. Obviously, he'd be in a different situation than he was in Florida and in Ohio State.
Very different situation.
In Ohio, those are hotbeds. But could he'd have to change the way he approaches it. But again, I just would say I'd bet on him more than I'd bet on anybody else really in the planet that's available. I mean, yeah, I guess you could go get Nick Saban if you think you could get Saban. If you think you could get, I guess, Dabo, Kirby. No, none of those three aren't available. Bob Stoops would be someone who's he's not going to do it. That's about it, though. I mean,
do you think Trev wants the headache?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I look at it a little differently. Everybody can cause headaches. I mean,
come on, man. I mean,
after what he said in the press conference, you think he wants to hire a guy like that?
No.
A guy like that. I just don't. I'm not quite as judgy as you guys. I don't. Really
Sip, he was accused of abusing players last year. We're not even just talking about the Zach Smith stuff anymore.
Yeah, well,
what we're asking is, do you think Trev would be okay with that?
It's interesting to me that he's going to get hired. I mean, if he wants to coach, he'll be coaching at a high-profile program.
Yeah, probably one that has a nice built-in recruiting base and a decent foundation.
Yeah, and they're not going to say, well, but what about his transgressions? He'll just go there and win at a super high level, and we'll be watching it.
Oh.
Yeah, you know that. I mean, you know that.
No, I don't know that. I don't know that because I don't think he's got it anymore. That's the one thing we can't. We're assuming that you're going to get the Urban Meyer of 2013. I'm telling you, things have changed.
I mean, you guys are always the one who are always saying, what do you got? You got to go off the track record. Got to go off his history. Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, I am. I am going off his track record. That he has worked at some programs and he's done great. I'm not discrediting the greatness that he did, but he was in a situation that was a lot more advantageous than the one he would be walking into here. Not to mention all the demons that have been following him the last, 10 years.
I mean, Sip, you could make an argument that Nebraska is the Big Ten's version of Jacksonville. And he went 2-11 there last year.
And got fired by Jacksonville. Jacksonville!
I mean, I'm just saying he gives you a best chance. And he absolutely gives you the best chance to win at a high level.
All right. Hey, agree to disagree.
Hey, do you think that they're going to let the sellout streak die?
I hard to say. I mean, it's interesting that question is kind of in all of the tumult and disrepairs getting kind of shoved down the list a little bit. It almost feels inevitable. And I'm not even sure at this point what, would it be a gigantic story? Of course, it'd be a story, but there's a certain inevitability to it at this point. It seems like, unless unless the tide turns, if they beat Indiana, obviously that affects the conversation. So maybe what you do here is just take that a game at a time, like everything else.
Probably. I think they'll be okay for what's the next home game? What'd I say? Indiana? I think they'll be okay for Indiana, but after that, who knows?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if they have success against Indiana, then we'll see. I mean, I don't know. That game feels like I don't know. I haven't looked at Indiana. I don't want to go down that road too far. I watched Indiana for a half against Illinois and was pretty underwhelmed, but they also they'll throw it around a lot. What's become apparent to me is I think Nebraska's secondary might be the biggest problem. So yeah, they're going to struggle against most anybody.
Hey, Sip, before I let you go, one of the things you said throughout the offseason was that, like, you were, I don't remember if the word was intrigued, but that you were really fascinated by this season, just given the current place that Nebraska football found themselves in. 4 games in, what word would you describe how you feel about the final 8?
Yeah, still very intrigued. For different reasons. I mean,
sure.
It's been an incredible first 4 weeks of the season. I mean, remarkable. And I still am intrigued, just in a kind of a different way. It's unsettling, though. I mean, we're having a lot of unsettling conversations. The Urban Meyer conversation is very polarizing, which we just experienced. And I respect where you're coming from. But that's an example of what we're dealing with. Chubb's got a hard job now. I mean, I think he's got to hire somebody I think it is important that the fan base is excited by the hire. Sometimes I wouldn't say that. You just kind of have to trust the AD, and if he puts somebody out there in front of us that doesn't have much of a resume, doesn't have a lot of experience, we just kind of trust his judgment. Sometimes that's okay. In this case, I don't know. Trev's got some pressure.
Man,
and I totally understand what you're saying about Urban. I do. I'm a little surprised how strong you are on it. The moralistic aspect of it, but I guess.
But it's not just the moralistic aspect, but you can't ignore it either.
No, you can't, and I recognize that. Absolutely recognize that. But you did see the reaction to it on Saturday, and it was very favorable in Lincoln.
Sure, but I mean, but we just came off a situation, and listen, we were part of it too. So I'm not trying to absolve myself from what we all were like 5 years ago. But Scott Frost, in many ways, was a mob rule situation where it was a no-brainer. And sometimes you don't make great decisions. That's why I like the fact that Trev has given himself some time to make this choice, and he's gonna turn over every rock, and he's going to ask the right questions, and he's going to work at this. And it's not just going to be the guy happens to be sitting 50 feet away from me on a set. Let's chant for Urban Meyer, because they all get caught up in the emotion. Trev's going to try to make this a non-emotional decision.
I think you get caught up in you can get caught up in what Urban did at Jacksonville. Nick Saban went 15-17. He went 15-17 with the Dolphins. Nobody would have known what he was going to do at Alabama. You would have been shouting into the microphone. He can't hire Saban at Alabama. He went 15-17 with the Dolphins. I mean, it's a different world. Those are different worlds. And in our world, in this college football world, there's nobody on the earth right now who's available with as proven a record as Urban Meyer. That's what and I don't think that the drama would be all that. There'd be initial drama from the hire. The national people would come in, and a few would probably raise some hell. But I don't think it would be that bad. I mean,
can I look, in all seriousness, like, given the last week of what the media did and didn't know with Frost, you don't think the drama would be there with Urban?
Oh, there's some. Of course, there'd be some.
Be a lot.
And his health issues.
Oh, that's right. He'll probably get a hangnail, and I can't coach anymore.
I don't know. I just think he gives you the best chance. Now, if I'm the AD, I'm trying to get the guy that gives me the best chance. That's what I don't like to muddy it up. I don't like to complicate the conversation too much. I just want the guy that gives me the best chance. That's what you're trying to do. I mean, and that's. I mean, there's other guys that are out there that have had issues too, not as profound. But if you're going to do that thing where you play the moralistic clause, I've talked to coaches that said, you won't be able to fill all the jobs.
But again, I think those issues would stand in the way of him doing the kind of job he would have to do, a job he has never been asked to do at this level. And that's why I think you can't dismiss the moralistic side of it, because, I mean, it got in his way. It literally got in his way.
Like it was, if you watched him on the set, if you watched the reaction of the fans, it didn't feel like a big issue. It didn't, there weren't boos for Urban. It was quite the opposite. And I thought that was telling.
All right.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of excitement wherever he would choose to go. Maybe you're right. I mean, maybe he will choose to go nowhere because he doesn't want to face, that sort of drama to which you're alluding. And I'm not saying he's the only answer at Nebraska. I'm saying he would give you the best chance.
Okay. All right. I can accept that from you, Sip.
Yeah, and I accept yours too.
But we'll agree to disagree.
Right. I've read the debates, and it's valid on both sides.
Embrace debate.
Embrace debate.
Well, I appreciate it. I like it. I don't like it when we always agree on everything.
I know.
Yeah, that's happened a lot lately.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Ooh, well. All right, Sip. Well, enjoy the idle week.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. I don't think it's going to be all that idle. We'll see.
No, that's true. Maybe we need to come up with a new name. It's
For
not
the
it's not a bye week because it's not a bye.
Mm-hmm.
We have accepted idle, but like Sip said, there'll be a lot of work, so it won't be idle.
Is someone else getting fired?
Josh, I didn't say it.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't say.
I've not tweeted out that Steve Sipple said someone else is getting fired. I did not tweet it, so you're good.
Yeah.
If someone else is, please give me a heads up.
Yeah, hey, I'll shoot you a text.
All right, Sip. Take care, my friend.
Bye, Sip.
Steve Sipple of the Lincoln. Of
Husker Online.
Of the Lincoln neighborhood from which he comes from.
The Lincoln Husker Online Bureau. By the way, I do think that there could be more changes coming in season. So.
Oh, here we go.
Just saying. People last week were like, tell us things.
No rumors, Josh.
I just told you. I think there could be more changes.
Okay.
Could be more changes.
402-951-1620.
Man, it's always fun when you guys argue with each other because then I can just sit here and watch.
Oh, I got people all over the place. Oh, but he wins.
Yes, I see Severe's yelling at you.
But he wins. But he wins.
Kevin's yelling at you. I saw.
Listen. No, Kugler needs to keep his mouth shut.
What did he
after
do?
what he did yesterday, trying to sabotage my football team?
Wasn't he?
I could hear the smile in his voice as Atlanta was making that comeback. Oh, he was yucking it up during breaks, I'm sure, saying, "Oh man, I'm gonna make John miserable."
Is this true?
I blame you, Kevin.
Did you see?
It had nothing to do with Cooper Kupp fumbling.
Let me
or the Rams failing to block the guy coming up the middle on a punt. It was all you.
Okay, good.
How did Arnold Darnold do?
Oh, he made a big play at the end of the game.
Are we saving the Mark Sanchez thing for content later?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because, man, if you
fantastic.
Have you heard this yet, Nick? Have you seen it?
Oh, it was great.
It's very fun.
It was great.
RG3 is doing some of this type of stuff, too. He's been doing these kind of...
making weird analogies?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Nice.
I like it. They're trying to one-up each other. I'm enjoying it.
I hope this is a competition.
I'm a fan of weird analogies.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Irrational confidence.
My rendition of Billy Joel's Piano Man brought down an entire section in the lower level of the MGM Grand in Las Vegas in 2019. I mean, had everybody just eaten out of the palm of my hand. And that was one of my greatest performances ever.
Irrational confidence. The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Very warm into the evening with the temperatures in the 80s and that south breeze blowing. Clear to partly cloudy tonight. We'll only drop back in the lower 70s for low. And then sunny skies and record heat coming for Tuesday with highs in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, More Time Saving Traffic Center. The accident on Northwest Radial and the accident on 60th are both cleaned up. The accident down in Gretna is still being worked on, though. Dodge Street and L Street have the amount of congestion that you would expect on a Friday. 80, 680, and JFK are all still pretty slow, and that darn traffic light on 32nd is still out. My name's Conrad. This has been your afternoon traffic.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Come on, when was the last time you had your Fernando's fix? It doesn't get any better than lunch, dinner, carry-out, even catering from Fernando's. Get your Fernando's fix. 114th and Dodge, 75th and Pacific, and FernandosOmaha.com. A new season is underway for Creighton men's and women's soccer and women's volleyball, which means we need you in the stands. Don't miss any of the action this season as your Creighton Blue Jays compete for a Big East title. Affordable tickets for the whole family start as low as $7. Get your tickets online at gocreighton.com/tickets and cheer on the Blue Jays all season long. That's gocreighton.com/tickets.
You know those buddies who magically become medical professionals when you're not at the top of your game? The ones who say, come on, muscle through it, but then also say, hey, you should probably see my specialist. Or surgery or pain meds. It's almost always false, false, and false. Athletico's physical therapists, the same therapists who work with professional athletes, can tackle those little aches and pains from the start, before they become big ones. So next time, don't believe everything you hear. Instead, start with Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Hey, it's Damon. Are you looking for a good time on the way home from a football game on a Friday night or out and about on a Saturday afternoon? The answer is yes. Ted and Wally's Ice Cream is for you. That's right. Ted and Wally's, the best time with over 3,000 flavors of homemade greatness of ultra premium ice cream with locally sourced ingredients. That makes it creamier, tastier, and that much more amazing. So stop in and pick up some pints, quarts, or half gallons. Again, 2 great locations, Benson and the Old Market, celebrating 35 great years, or you can visit tedandwallys.com.
The Madness Haunted House will terrify you to your very soul. Come, your pants all over the 2 acres of fear at Pioneer Trail Orchard. Screaming for 30 minutes or till you can scream no more. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. fearthemad.com.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
Cool air temperatures mixed with warm soil temperatures means it's time to plant. Visit Lanahaas Garden Center for the Metro's largest selection of homegrown trees and plants. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanahaas Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Stoned out of his mind.
The 1620. The Zone.
What's that drop that you have? Come at me, people.
Come at me, people.
That was your drop, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. 402-951-1620.
Real quick before you take the phone call, maybe the most important point from Aaron on why you can't take Urban Meyer. He texts us in, how can you trust anybody that has transition lenses? Great point.
I didn't know people were out on transition lenses. What's wrong with transition lenses? As one who does not wear glasses.
Everything. They just they're hugely dorky because you'll have the weird middle portion where you're inside and they're still transitioning back.
That's the worst. I had them when I was
but
in
that
4th
doesn't
grade.
last long, does it?
John, they just look dorky.
They're pretty dorky.
They're pretty.
My son has transitions.
I'm sorry, your son's
That's
a dork.
amazing. Pretty dorky. But one of my best friends in college, he had them, and we made fun of him too. So no, your son is probably getting made fun of.
I didn't know that this was a thing.
Oh yeah, it's just huge dork move. Huge.
Really?
Huge dork.
Practicality is a dork move.
Yeah, indeed. Just to have some, or give my friends at Kugler Vision a call.
Oh, see, this is why you're against it. You're doing it to sell your Kugler Vision stuff.
Yes, I put on my sunglasses.
Which is fine. Kugler Vision is fantastic client.
Take off my sunglasses.
I'm sorry, partner.
Josh Ray-Ban Peterson.
Hell yeah, I am, Nick. Look at these. Look at those.
But in the interim, while you're waiting for the
inside.
Kugler Vision, the transitions can work. Then you're not
Just get
carrying around other
prescription-
glasses.
Just get prescription sunnies.
Yeah, but then you're carrying around 2 pairs of glasses.
This is why you should call Kugler Vision at 425-82211. Then you don't have to
Well, in
have
the meantime,
back and forth.
while you're waiting,
cloudy,
while
sunny,
you're
it's cloudy,
waiting in the
sunny.
long line,
You've already
people
told me
have been
right now.
convinced
Just do
by
it
you
again.
that Kugler Vision is so great.
All right, keep saying these things, John. I'm going to pop on. I'm going to put up the graphic. There we go. Hey, there it is. KuglerVision.com. Tell them Josh Peterson.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Sorry, your son's a dork. I apologize.
Wow. Hello, Mike. Welcome. You're on the Les Hills Harley Davidson hotline.
Well, hello, John. We're ready to have a little fun here with this. Urban Meyer
Oh,
conversation.
please,
Oh,
Mike.
God.
Please tell us why Urban Meyer is the chosen one.
Okay, so let's just, and I know you said Power 5, but let's just take a quick look at Urban's resume, John. Before he got to Bowling Green State.
I got Power 5. Mike, Power 5. Mike, Power 5. Mike, it's Power 5. It's Power 5, Mike.
At Florida, Power 5. At Florida, they were 8-5, 8-5, and 7-5. And then in 2 years, he won a national championship.
Okay,
Years
stop.
later, he won a
Pause.
national
Push pause. Push pause.
Ohio State-
Push
Ohio
pause.
State-
Mike, push pause. Push pause. Let's take
I got
these
it.
one at a time. Let's take these one at a time.
Okay.
Florida. Okay. You're right. They were 8-5, 7-6 under old Ronnie Zook.
Yep.
They were in a better situation at Florida than the one that he would inherit in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Obviously, John, it's a program that's had 8
Okay,
losing
that was
seasons
my
since
point.
2004.
My point was he has never had to lift this heavy at a place that does not have a built-in
I
recruiting
understand
base.
that,
Go
but
ahead.
My point. Look at Ohio, John. Look at Ohio.
Yeah,
That was
great
not a
recruiting base.
rebuild, right? But they were 6-7 the year he got there. And then
In a transition year with Luke Fickell because they had just lost their coach a couple of months earlier. That was a transition year.
The fact is they were 6-7 when they first got there.
And they were a
Worst season
10-win
Ohio.
team
And
prior
they
to that
went
under Jim Tressel.
He went 12-0 and lost 4 games in Big Ten conference play. So you're going to tell me, but let's just say he's never done. Okay, what did Nick Saban do at the Miami Dolphins? Well, I know he's 6-10 and he quit. But when he went to Alabama and got more talent than everybody in the NFL or everybody in college, well, he wins championships every year. Kirby Smart, he beat Alabama because he had more talent. Well, Urban Meyer, who the hell is Matt Campbell, bro? Dave Aranda, bro?
No, Mike, let's not talk. Let's just talk about Urban. I haven't endorsed the candidate. Let's just talk about Urban. Stop comparing him to. Just talk about Urban.
Okay. So did y'all see the Nebraska high school football talent on the field this weekend against Oklahoma? Did you see those linebackers trying to run and cover Oklahoma talent?
Mhm.
Did you see a couple of those kids on the offensive line trying to block Oklahoma talent? You're telling me you think Urban Meyer can't recruit? A guy that has a national brand in recruiting is not going to be able to go in and significantly upgrade the talent in this program immediately.
I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but it's a hell of a lot harder lifting when that talent isn't living within 50 to 100 to 200 miles of campus. And you know this, Mike. You know how difficult it is a job to recruit here. It doesn't matter who the coach is. You know how difficult it is.
Difficult, John. That's always been the case. But Urban Meyer is going to be able to recruit at a higher level than anybody else that's available right now.
Perhaps.
Right? He's got more street cred than any other coach right now in recruiting that's available.
Well, we don't know that. Honestly, we don't know that.
John, then you tell me one person that has a better street cred than Urban Meyer in recruiting nationally.
Well, we don't know. He hasn't been on the recruiting trail since 2018.
He hasn't been on the recruiting trail since he was abusing his NFL players.
Okay, well, you know what? If you're a grown-ass man and you're letting Urban Meyer abuse you, then what does that say about you as a grown-ass man?
Says nothing about you. Is it? What kind of man you are if you're getting abused?
Urban Meyer's a badass, bro. Urban Meyer.
Oh, he's a
If you're
badass.
Man in the NFL and you're getting abused by your coach. Well, that tells me the coach is a badass, bro. I want that coach.
I don't.
Okay, cool. I want a winner. You guys can have Matt Campbell and go be irrelevant. I want a winner. I want championship.
Matt Campbell's not even my number one.
Program's it's going to have 6 losing seasons in a row. 8 since 2004.
I know.
But y'all go
I'm
get
aware of the
Matt
record.
Campbell or Dave Aranda, bro, and see where that works out. When USC, Oregon, Washington, Notre Dame all come to the Big Ten, Clemson, Florida State, Miami go to the SEC, and in a couple of years in college football, it's a 2-team super conference, and Nebraska's setting irrelevant because we've got an Iowa State head coach that recruits the 500-mile radius, bro. Cool, awesome.
All right, Mike.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Mike.
it.
Yep.
Look, I have no doubt that if Urban Meyer was hired by Nebraska, that he would put together an incredible staff. And honestly, that might be. I think you can make an argument, John, that the best thing about Urban Meyer is actually his staff and not him himself. But I will continue to say this. I just do not think that there is any guarantee that they are getting that caller, Mike, right? I don't think there's any guarantee that Mike is getting the Urban Meyer
of 2013.
Yeah, I just don't think that guy exists anymore.
Maybe I'm wrong. I think we are underestimating. We are underestimating the damage to his reputation. And I don't know what kind of a recruiter he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to place a bet that it won't be as effective as the recruiter he was before he left Ohio State.
Agreed.
Because it's a different era in college football. We have talked about this for the last 4 years, Josh, how dramatically different this sport is and how player empowerment has become huge. And listen, the Mikes of the world and the rest of you who cannot stand the fact that players have the ability to transfer. It's here. It ain't going anywhere. Okay? It's not. So we can sit here and bitch about, oh, they're not man enough. They got to be man enough. We can bitch all we want about that. But the bottom line is Nick Saban is coaching in that era right now and adjusting. We haven't seen Urban be able to adjust to this because he hasn't been through it. Now, maybe he could. Maybe he could. But everybody else that's right now on that coaching list has already had to make that adjustment and already knows the lay of the land. Urban doesn't. He's been on the sidelines. Oh, well, he was on the sidelines for 13 games in Jacksonville before the worst run franchise in the NFL ran his ass out of town because he was so embarrassing. And because he didn't want to put in the legwork.
Al says, bro. Justin says, bro. That guy's lost his mind, bro. CJ says, bro. Jed says, Mike needs to calm down and put the protein shakes down, bro.
And by the way, this is the same person who, when we had this conversation, and some people in this room ridiculed me.
And those people were right.
4 or 5 years ago. Well,
they were right.
They ended up being right because none of this other crap had taken place.
And ignore what those people said about
Zach Smith
hiring
stuff
Scott
hadn't
Frost.
happened and the Jacksonville stuff hadn't happened. I thought if you're building a program, Urban's done it in many different places. And he would be a guy I would choose over Nick Saban as a program builder in that moment,
bro.
But then guess what? Urban struck, and he derailed his own ship. That's the guy you're getting, if that's the guy you want. I'm not moving off of this.
Look, here's the thing, man.
And Trev ain't gonna hire him anyway.
In the end, that's like none of it. We're wasting breath talking about it.
We probably are, but guess what? But Josh, the crowd, the mob, they were all chanting his name.
Yeah, what does that matter?
Yeah, that's a weird argument to me.
We just went through this, people. We just went through this with Frost. Bill Moose was literally brought here to bring in Scott Frost. There was no coaching search. None. And we found out, that wasn't a great idea. Mob rules is not a great way to operate a coaching search. And that's why trust the adult in the room. Trev Alberts.
Shank Ping Appreciation Club says, haven't heard John this fired up since Wrigley wouldn't get down. And
Wrigley would make a better coach.
Lance does say transitional.
There's no drama with Wrigley.
Transitional lenses are the equivalent of wearing tube socks with sandals.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a tough look. Tough look.
Is
this Christian or Sam?
A Christian. Sam doesn't have glasses.
Okay.
I've never heard this.
I apologize to
I didn't understand that. I didn't get that people are so out on transitional.
Mm-hmm.
They're either people trying to sell eye surgery or people trying to sell more pairs of glasses.
Okay, John, you know how I'm a
It's
massive
not a surgery?
It's a procedure.
John, you know how I'm a massive dork, right?
Yes.
Cool. I had transition glasses when I was in 4th grade, and I never got them again.
Even he knew that they were bad.
Was it because they just weren't good glasses?
No, they worked. They were glasses.
Sam says, honestly, let's just hire Mike. Can we just hire Mike?
Mike,
really?
You're hired.
Rather hire
I want a coach that says bro a lot.
That guy said bro a ton.
He did. Listen, I appreciate the passion. I do.
Yeah, that's what makes this place great.
We haven't had one of these in a while.
Sometimes through these gates walk bad takes. It's okay.
But bro, we got to take a break.
Got to take a bro.
We got to take a bro break. I got to talk to my bros because some bros aren't fully functioning anymore. Because the little bro won't respond to stimulus. And it takes an extra added thing, a pill, if you will. Well, the problem with the pill is you got to time everything. So you got to wait for the little bro to respond to the pill. Then you got all the side effects that come with the pill. But you know where there's no side effects? The advanced wave technology at Brookside Medical Clinic. Shown by Cambridge University to restore and regrow blood vessels to the bro, to the little bro, and get little bro working normal again. No more pills, no more waiting for it to kick in, no more side effects. And if all my bros right now will get on the phone, the bro phone, and call 402-671-7777, you can get a free consultation and blood flow ultrasound for the little bro. So you can find out if Brookside Advanced Wave Technology is right for you. So make sure that the little bro is just as energetic and excited about Urban Meyer as Big Bro. 402-671-7777. It's like a lap dance. Brookside Medical Clinics, 402-671-7777.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Question 5. Lucas and Carla have 3 homework assignments each. Lucas does his online at home, but Carla has no internet at home. If Carla has to travel 5 miles to find Wi-Fi at a noisy diner or a grocery store parking lot, how can she ever be expected to do well in school?
This is not a problem kids should have to solve. Cox Connect to Compete, providing affordable internet to lower-income students. Available to new residential Cox Internet customers who meet eligibility criteria. Other restrictions apply.
Suicide can be prevented by knowing the warning signs. And most importantly, knowing what to do if you recognize those signs in yourself, a loved one, or even a stranger. There are simple ways you can be there for someone, so they can be here for more tomorrows. Visit moretomorrowsne.org to learn the signs, how to approach the conversation, and where to get help. Or call 988 for help now. That's moretomorrowsne.org.
Woodhouse Ford is your certified Ford dealer, serving drivers throughout Nebraska for 47 years. Our commitment to our customers continues well beyond the date of purchase. You will leave our lot feeling comfortable and confident in your new vehicle. Customers have been relying on Woodhouse Ford since 1975 for high-quality vehicles, knowledgeable staff, and exceptional service. Experience the Woodhouse Ford difference and shop at one of our 3 locations in-store or online at woodhouseford.com.
The 2022-23 Creighton sports season holds great promise for competing for Big East and national honors, and 1620 The Zone will be there all year long. The 1620 The Jays podcast covers all of Blue Jay sports, from volleyball, soccer, and cross country in the fall to basketball in the winter, plus baseball, softball, tennis, golf, and rowing. Join me, John Bishop, along with Josh Peterson and Connor Happer each week for interviews with Creighton student athletes and coaches. It's the 1620 The Jays podcast. New episodes each Friday on 1620thezone.com and on Twitter at 1620 The Jays.
The big box stores have a secret. When you walk out the door with a new purchase, that's where the service ends. At Ty's Outdoor Power and Service, you get great deals on brands like Hustler, Toro, Honda, and Steel. Plus, you get a dedicated experienced service center. With annual maintenance and repairs, your equipment will last longer and perform when you need it most. See us in Lincoln, Omaha, or Gretna and get 10% off your residential service. Visit Ty'sOutdoorPower.com, promo code radio, or mention radio to repeat.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper.
It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free online visit. forhims.com/radio.
Bill Jones.
And Olivia.
Here for Jones Bros Cupcakes. Have you tried our new chimney cones yet, Olivia?
They are so yummy.
Chimney cones are stacked on a sugar-coated croissant cone with gelato. We have flavors like birthday cake, strawberries and cream, s'mores, salted caramel, and more.
I love the birthday cake chimney cone topped with a mini cupcake. So good.
Come see us at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe in Exarban Village.
We appreciate your support.
Your exclusive home for Royals baseball in Omaha.
Right up the middle, base hit, and the Royals are a winner.
1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Sports Flash. Time for an Unsportsmanlike Conduct Sports Flash update. Sports Flash. From the Sports Flash Sports Desk. Why are you laughing? Did Urban get hired? Am I going to have to apologize?
Already, more changes, John, continue to come to the Nebraska football program.
Sports Flash. Oh, who got it now?
Well, we got it now, John.
Sports Flash.
The scribes, the radio folks. Don't forget about television.
Well,
all of us. So there will be a press conference tomorrow.
Yeah.
11:30. It's going to be on the 6th floor of the West Stadium press box, normal locale.
Mhm.
Mickey
Yeah,
Joseph,
yeah.
11:30. Imagine we'll air it live here on 1620 The Zone. Because this was not a regularly scheduled weekly press conference and Coach Joseph is the only speaker, we will not be serving lunch. That comes directly from Nebraska.
No vowels?
No vowels? No pasta? No nothing.
You're trolling me, man.
As Mark says, saving money for the next buyout. Look, Mickey Joseph, he comes in, he makes changes, guys getting benched, guys getting fired, and now he removes lunch? What's next? What's next? Who's on the chopping block now? If we can't have vowels, they're going to take away runses for the fans?
402-951-1620. Here is Craig on the Les Hills Harley Davidson hotline. Hello, Craig.
Hey, Craig.
Hey, guys. Love the show as always.
Thank you, Craig.
John, every time you get worked up, I just can't help not saying to myself, I never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, ever said that.
Nice reference.
But anyway, have a nice day. I agree with you, too. Urban's poison. But, hey, sometimes people take poison just to feel good. But
I mean, I think Damon said it best. Why does Nebraska want to act like the desperate guy at the end of the bar? The guy who, is wearing clothes that's a size too small. The guy who's going out and buying expensive cologne and then
simping for Urban.
And then bathing in it. The guy who wears transition lenses, apparently. Moves made out of desperation decisions made out of desperation usually don't fare very well. And again, ask yourself this. SC was open last year. Notre Dame was open last year. Urban could have pulled what was it? It was Petrino, right?
When he went to Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
He could have done that.
Yeah.
He could have ditched out on Jacksonville early, knowing he was going to get fired. He could have taken those jobs. Those are ready-built more recruiting hotbeds, certainly, than Lincoln, Nebraska. I just don't think you can automatically assume, because Urban Meyer would be the coach, that it's just going to, here we go, 90s all over again.
Here we go with Urban Meyer.
And then you want to deal with all the headaches. And that's my biggest problem. There's many big problems. Haven't we seen how much the drama has torn this program to pieces?
It has.
You're going to get drama with Urban Meyer, and it's going to be Urban Meyer caused. The folks trying to make these moral equivalencies, well, Osborne was no saint. Yeah, and we can relitigate the whole Osborne era if you want to. I get it. But those were not Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer was his own drama.
Mm-hmm.
Urban Meyer tried to hide a coach's involvement in domestic violence. A guy he could have just kicked, and we said this in the moment, Josh. Why didn't he just fire this guy? Why didn't he just kick this guy to the curb? No.
And he doubled and tripled down.
He tripled down on him, and he lied about it. One of his leaders, one of his handpicked leaders, a guy he could have replaced with any assistant coach who coached wide receivers and probably found a better one.
Yep.
But no, he decided to do this.
Everything that happened in Jacksonville.
And everything that happened in Jacksonville.
What was the strength trainer that he brought in?
Oh, yeah, he brought in the guy from Iowa.
Yep.
Who had just been let go because of the racial discrimination that was taking place. And then had to walk that back.
Like right away.
When Jacksonville said, oh, I don't know if we can do that. And then Urban had to walk that one back. This is the guy you're getting. Or you would be getting.
Yada da mean 116 says, endorse your guy already, John. John doesn't have a guy.
I don't have one yet.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good candidates out there.
And we'll have some of them in Frost versus the World very shortly.
Yes, we will.
Mm-hmm.
We have to narrow down one of our brackets here very shortly. But you see, that's another thing people are going to do, just like Bro did.
Bro.
Oh, Matt Campbell, Iowa State, he sucked, blah, blah, blah. You're going to do that, Meyer better,
Doesn't
blah,
even
blah,
have an
blah,
agent. Many people are calling him young Mike Riley. Have you seen this?
And here's the problem. Here's the problem. Trev Alberts is probably going to do his damnedest to make a solid hire.
Mm-hmm.
And instantly, you're going to have the bros who are going to crap all over that decision because it's not Urban Meyer. And then we're right back to square one with the unnecessary crap that is developed around this program. Why can't we just trust the adult in the room to make a smart decision and see what happens? There is no guarantee that Urban Meyer is going to fix anything. For all of the reasons I mentioned, he's never done a job like this before. The heavy lifting that's going to be required in Lincoln, Nebraska, much heavier than Gainesville, much heavier than Columbus. And you're getting damaged goods because he ain't Urban Meyer 2013. You can sit there and you can scream into your freaking anonymous message boards all you want and hide behind your little avatars all you want.
Avatars.
And your transition lenses all you want.
Don't do that, folks. Take them off and call Kugler Vision. Seriously.
But and that's the other thing is, it's like, we all were laughing at this guy last year. Laughing and pointing our fingers and saying, what a joke, what a loser. And now he's coming. He's the savior.
In all seriousness, John, it just shows how far the program has fallen. It shows just how far that people are like, look, I don't care. I just want to win. I've seen that a lot.
Sometimes folks can't see the forest for the trees. Sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees. Well, coming up, we hope to get in touch with our friend DB.
Not Frost versus the World.
And not Frost versus the World. And what a day it was in the NFL.
Oh, we haven't talked about the football yet.
The NFL taking a page out of the college book. Anytime the schedule looks bad on paper, it turns out to be an amazing week.
That's because football is the best. Folks, we love football, don't we? Pretty good. Wow, pretty good, my ass, Nick.
He is turning into Shane. He's picking multiple teams.
I know, it's disgusting.
I told you
I'm the same drop over and over.
I've only got one team now.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. No major accidents to report at this time, but there is some construction around the area and the normal congestion for your Monday afternoon on the way home from work. So be patient and wear your seatbelt. That's a look at traffic.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Methodist Health System.
When envisioning what kind of future is possible, the challenges never stop. And neither do we. Methodist, the meaning of care.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power and savings with style. Not to mention top tech to help keep you connected. Plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years, with a hybrid or electric vehicle built for every driver. Seriously, dear gas prices? Do you really think you can stand in our way? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
Hey friends, Kent Pavelka here, back with John Higgins and the Rooferees at the Weather Guard showroom. I imagine there are a lot of people out there with really bad roofs waiting for the magic moment. When's the magic moment?
Depends on what type of roof you have. It depends on how old your roof is. I have a customer right now talking about waiting for that hailstorm. Now it's leaking. There's a time where you can't wait for that hailstorm forever.
When it comes time to replace your roof, your gutters, and siding, there's only one call to make. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is presented by Tickets for Less. Tickets for Less is your local source for Nebraska football tickets. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com. All the Nebraska football news, stories, experts, and coverage you need is on 1620 The Zone. Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
It'd be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
From your mom.
Well, I mean, they did lose.
The Cowboys didn't. Neither did the Rams.
They tried to.
The happy hour's on the air. Oh, come on.
It seemed like you could compromise.
They're going to lose like all of the games. We can't have a sad open to the happy hour every Monday. This is who they are now. This is who they are now. There we go. Go Cowboys.
Doesn't feel right.
It doesn't, but Josh insisted.
He insisted.
We won all of our teams in both of Nick's teams.
I only have
we
one
all
now.
won.
It's one per division, right?
Nick roots for the Miami Dolphins, the Urban Meyer of the NFL.
Okay.
But Tua throwing the ball downfield yesterday.
Very problematic.
Uh-huh.
I like Tua.
Well, while we're on the subject of music, we need to pare down another regional in Not Frost versus the World. By the way, I'm starting now to keep track of how the coaches did.
It's kind of like who you're rooting for.
It's like who you might be rooting for.
I love it.
By the way, we do have this weekend, and we're going to talk about it later this week with Max Olson of The Athletic. We have a possible elimination game in Not Frost versus the World.
Tell me more.
Dave Aranda versus Matt Campbell. Baylor versus Iowa State.
Now, I noticed Urban Meyer's name is not on here because in stock you could have put fans cheered for him at Big Noon Kickoff.
I could have.
So it's obviously up. It's obviously up.
Right. But he didn't win any games this week.
But he didn't lose any games.
I guess you have a point.
Mm-hmm.
You have a point.
Brian points out DeBoer looked pretty good. Oh, Kalen DeBoer. Interesting. What an ass whooping Washington gave to Michigan State.
Josh.
Interesting.
Josh.
What?
How many national titles has he won? Huh?
That's true.
How many 5-star recruits has he brought in?
He's
a winner. He does nothing but win.
Yeah, well, it's hard to, I mean, they're undefeated this year. If you just look
bro.
at bro.
Well, it is time for Not Frost versus the World. A quick recap. The guys who have been locked in the Power 5 regional. And, of course, all of these candidates are immediately lesser than
Urban Meyer. Don't worry. We'll get to his name tomorrow.
Oh, we'll get to his name tomorrow.
We're going to
He'll
put him
be in the
here.
tournament.
He's probably going to win the whole freaking thing.
He probably will, which will just show how dumb people are. Dave Aranda, Brett Bielema.
Bielman.
Matt Campbell, Luke Fickle, Gary Patterson, Mark Stoops, Kyle Whittingham.
Nice.
Locked into the Power 5 regional.
Utah, nice winning cover. Nice job, guys.
On Friday, we locked in the up-and-comers regional, Jamie Chadwell.
Jamie Chadwell, Coastal Carolina.
Dave Clausen. We didn't have his.
Oh, Dave Clausen.
Kalen DeBoer.
Goat.
Kalen DeBoer, University of Washington.
Best coach of all time.
Dave Doran. Oh, we didn't have his name locked in either.
Oh, good, because he's trash.
He lost, but Chris Kleiman.
Chris Kleiman, Kansas State.
Loser.
Lance Leipold, he won.
Lance Leipold, University of Kansas.
And they screwed him out of game day.
And Kalani Sitake, BYU. They got thumped by Oregon.
By the way, the Kansas-Iowa State game is Saturday, October the 1st at 2:30.
Oh, we'll be able to watch that before the unfortunate primetime kickoff between Nebraska and Indiana.
I'm going to miss the second half of that game. Sad.
All right, so today we have to pare down the hot assistants.
Oh, DeBoer technically has 2 national titles. Thank you, Sam, for pointing that out. Yeah. Oh, let's go, Kalen DeBoer. Natties. All right, let's go.
He has one less than Urban.
Well, hey, you know who has more than Urban, though? Lance Leipold. What is
Lance
he, 5 or 6?
University of Kansas.
Goat.
Thank you, Gladys.
Other goat.
So it's time for our hot assistants regional. Gladys, would you please tell us who is in the hot assistants regional of those who we are considering?
Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator, Kansas City Chiefs.
This is great. She said offensive, not offensive. He's offensive.
Chiefs fans don't think he's offensive.
Him not getting hired as a head coach is offensive.
Chiefs fans would be offended that we're even mentioning him.
Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator of your world champion, and still world champion, by the way, Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, for technically for a few more months, and then it'll be over. And then the days will be
not over now. That was
they
really
barely won yesterday against
Liam Cohen,
trash Falcons.
offensive coordinator of your world champion,
Garbage.
and still world champion, by the way, Los Angeles Rams.
Thank
lady. You, Gladys.
Thank you. There's 2 of these. We got to give the other one a name. There are 2 different voices here. There's Gladys, and who's the other one?
Gladys 2.
Gladys 2.
Other Gladys.
It's like George Foreman. He named all his kids George.
Okay, that worked for me, I guess.
Josh Gaddis, offensive coordinator, University of Miami, Florida.
We got to figure out if we can type this differently for the offensive.
I don't know. I like it this way.
I kind of like it.
I like it this way.
His
Nebraska's offense was very offensive on Saturday.
Hey, you want to talk about offensive offense? Miami. Did you see that? They had, I think it was 27 first downs and no touchdowns. First time that's ever happened for a program.
That's nuts.
Garbage.
Alex Grinch, defensive coordinator, University of Southern California.
Real quick, there's this commenter on here just saying mediocre, all of them. I want an established great head coach. You got to chill, bro. You got to chill. This is just one region. We've already done the established coaches.
Yes.
And
pay
tomorrow,
attention.
Yeah, tomorrow
you get your Urban Meyer regional.
Just settle down a little bit.
We'll just put all Urban Meyer.
We got a lot of. That's a great idea. We have a lot of content to fill. It's September 19th.
Yes.
So much content.
Despite
And
what
coming
you
up soon
might
on
be
Sportsmanlike
reading on
Content.
your favorite message board, this decision is not going to be made tomorrow.
Mickey Joseph, interim head coach, University of Nebraska.
I've heard about him.
I have.
He's never won a football game, though, as a head coach.
I have.
At Nebraska.
Jim Knowles, defensive coordinator, The Ohio State University.
Ooh, they're looking good. They're looking good.
Jim Leonhardt, defensive coordinator, University of Wisconsin, Madison.
Leonard is not a normal name for the robots?
I guess not.
Jim Leonhardt.
Okay.
Well, maybe when he comes here, we'll change his pronunciation, just like when Joe Teasman changed his pronunciation to Theismann.
Theismann for Heisman.
Jeff Labby, offensive coordinator, University of Oklahoma.
That's the guy we shouldn't have let get out of the state on Saturday.
Just kidding.
Not that dude with the transition lenses. It should have been this dude.
You're our head coach now.
Not that dude. This dude.
Jeff Labby, offensive coordinator, University of Oklahoma.
Labby.
Bill O'Brien, offensive coordinator, University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa.
He's on the short list, folks.
Kevin Wilson, offensive coordinator, The Ohio State University.
Speaking of guys who abuses players.
All right, so
Thank you,
among this-
John.
And Josh.
Oh, hey.
You're welcome, Gladys.
Anything to say to the listener who has the hots for you?
Nick is very cool.
And handsome.
So, of this group, who should be locked in? We're locking in 7 because we're leaving a spot open for the winner of the Fair and Fringe.
So this means we're going to leave 3 behind. So this is going to be a bit easier. Okay, I'm just going to go with the ones, or do you want to go name by name? Because I have a few that are, I think, pretty obvious.
All right.
Bill O'Brien, obvious, because he is on the actual short list. So
yes,
he's obviously going to
Bill
be
O'Brien.
Let's
Bill
see.
O'Brien,
Well, Mickey.
offensive
Yeah,
coordinator,
Mickey,
Mickey's got to be.
University of
Mickey's got to be.
Alabama.
If we're going to put Urban in the tournament, we have to appease the other extreme who wants Mickey right away.
Leonard.
Yeah, Jim Leonard's name has been brought up many times, and he's Big Ten, Wisconsin, steal away one of their dudes. I think he should be in.
Should we put Lebby in there? Jeff Lebby.
Jeff Labby.
Sounds like you're saying Flabby. Jeff Flabby. Who are we eliminating? Who are the 3 that we're eliminating is almost the way I want to do, because I feel like we could eliminate a lot of these people, but we got to have 7 of them.
I think Kevin Wilson, eliminate him.
Okay, so he's in the fringe,
and I would also say Jim Knowles. Neither of the Ohio State guys. Nothing against them. Okay. Well, with Wilson, there's some baggage. Plus, he was already at Indiana. I think Nebraska could shoot a lot higher than that. Granted, they could probably shoot a lot higher than all of the guys that are being considered, but we have to, pare down this region.
So that means we only have to eliminate one person.
Jim Knowles, this is his first year at Ohio State. Gaddis I've heard Gaddis's name brought up.
And he coached in the Big Ten, which people are a huge fan of. Jordan says Alex Grinch, get him out of here. USC fans don't want him anymore. He is someone that people either love him or hate him. I'm fine with kicking Grinch to the curb because I'm good with keeping the other guys on the list. The enemy for sure. Why not Liam Cohen? Rams guys are awesome. Why not?
And they're always up for jobs everywhere.
Yeah,
Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator of your world champion, and still world champion, by the way, Los Angeles Rams.
The only thing is, none of those guys have gone to college yet, right? They're all pro dudes.
Yeah.
And remember the Bill Callahan, like his offense is too tough. How tough is their offense to learn? What do they say about the McVay offense for learning? Is it easy? Can you teach it to college kids?
I think you can.
Okay.
And
all right, well then let's kick out. So who are we kicking out? We're kicking out Wilson, Knowles, and Grinch, and leave the other 7?
Works for me.
Perfect. Works for me too.
That works for me.
There we go.
So we'll go with Bieniemy, Cohen, Gaddis. We didn't kick out Grinch, did we?
We kicked out Grinch.
We kicked out Grinch.
Grinch
So
and the 2 Ohio State
Bieniemy,
guys.
Cohen, Gaddis, Joseph, Leonard, Lebby, O'Brien.
Boom. There you go.
And then a spot will be left over. By the way, we'll start voting this week in the Fair and Fringe.
And so tomorrow is the Urban Meyer Regional?
Tomorrow, it's the Wild and Crazy guys.
Oh, the FM Regional.
Many of the names that will be included. Gladys was not available for these. PJ Fleck.
Ooh.
Hugh Freeze.
Oh.
John Gruden.
Ugh.
Mike
gross.
Gundy. Tom Herman.
Mm.
Lane Kiffin. Mike Leach.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Matt Rule. Neon Deion
What is that?
Sanders. Zach Taylor. And Urban Meyer.
Do you really want Zach Taylor? He lost to the average Dallas Cowboys yesterday. And still your average Dallas Cowboys, by the way. I apologize, by the way. Next week, a week from today, you know that they're on Monday Night Football? And did you know they're playing the New York Football Giants? I apologize. I apologize to everybody. Just want that out there on the record. I apologize. I
understand where you're coming from.
Indeed.
So that's what we'll tackle tomorrow.
Awesome.
And then the bracket will be almost, well, all the leftovers go into the Fair and Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
And then the winners of the Fair and Fringe will get slotted into each of the 4 regions.
And then they'll get slaughtered.
And then, yes, everyone can go vote for Urban Meyer, the people's choice.
Brian emails in Equitable Bank inbox. He says, the best thing that can happen in this Urban stuff is for an actual big name program to open up like Notre Dame or something big and for them to hire Urban so we can just move on to an actual good coach.
But that's the thing. I don't know if that's going to take place.
Yeah, bummer.
First off, I don't think Trev wants the headache.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Trev is considering him.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think Urban Meyer wants to do the job.
And I don't think he's going to come to Nebraska.
Because he doesn't have all the built-in advantages
Yeah.
that he had at Ohio State and at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, I could make this argument until the cows come home.
And you probably will have to.
And folks are just going to say, you know what? You're out of your mind.
Ooh.
Urban Meyer's a winner. He
Speaking
wins
about
everywhere he
bad
goes,
guys,
blah, blah, blah.
Cody says, can we add Bobby Petrino to the crazy guys region? He looked good Saturday. LOL.
Oh, well, thank you for the reference. Yes, I can add him.
Bobby Petrino.
We can put him on,
it's Bobby.
we could put him on the list of
Hey,
considered.
if they hire him, I demand that he wears the neck brace to the opening press conference. I demand it. Travis says Auburn is dumb enough. It was a dumb enough program to take a shot at Urban. That would be great. I'll be honest, man. I'm pretty surprised that Brian Harsin still has a job down there. I thought that he might be.
I
fired.
thought he'd get let go before old
Herm Edwards.
Herm Edwards.
Did you see the video? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Oh man! So for those who missed it, as Herm is leaving the sidelines, he goes
He got
over.
beat by Eastern Michigan.
And he's fired, by the way. He leaves the sideline, and in the end zone are his athletic director and the university president. And he talks to him, and I don't think he thought he was going to get fired, just given the kind of, it was like jovial, like he seemed like frustrated, like, man, can you believe we lost this? But then it seemed like it was like, hey, we got to go talk with you. Let's go to the office. And then he got fired, and now he doesn't have a job anymore. So, one coach, cue the Lane Kiffin drop, he got fired on the tarmac of an airport. Meanwhile, Herm Edwards getting fired in the end zone.
What is that?
What is it? He got fired on the field, kind of, sort of. Here is Steve on the Les Hills Harley Davidson hotline. Good afternoon, Steve.
Yeah, you spoke about kind of like what I want to talk about here. I'm sure that Edwards is probably the first of 5 to 10 that are going to get fired between here and the end of the year. Maybe when you guys talk about these coaches getting fired, you could talk about whether or not this is good or bad for the Nebraska situation.
Oh, that's a fun idea for topics. So let's start Arizona State.
Well,
They're the
Arizona
only one
State
right now.
Arizona State has.
Can we have indifferent too, or does it have to be good or bad? Only a Sith deals in absolute.
There's the potential
But
of
also the
some
vodka.
candidates that will cross over. I saw a short list for Arizona State today, Kalani Sitake is one of those guys. And I don't know if Sitake is going to be a serious candidate for Nebraska or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. He'd be fun if he was. I think he'd play a brand of football people like around here.
Arizona State's an interesting situation because it is an attractive place to recruit to.
People forget
it's in
about
a very
their
it's in a great populated area.
What they say, Nick.
But they're also in a conference that is very much
dying. It's a dying conference.
It's a dying conference. So let's be frank.
So that's why I want to throw in the other one or indifferent. Like this is neither good nor bad because in the end I don't think it matters. This is not. I'm trying to think of a school that would open up that would be like, oh boy, they got to compete. Like Wisconsin. You don't want that job to open up because I think you might be hanging out in the same pool. Arizona State, Nebraska. I mean, maybe there'll be overlap, but
yeah.
Nebraska is look, I know they're a tire fire. They're a better job than Arizona State because Arizona State's in one of the not conferences.
Yeah,
they're in the transition lenses of conferences.
If James Franklin took another gig somewhere,
bad. That'd be horrible. For
I think
Nebraska.
Penn State would be bad.
Yeah, of course, like a Michigan, like those types of schools. Notre Dame, Congrats to Marcus Freeman on his first win, by the way.
You're taking way too much joy in this man.
I know. I need to stop. I was laughing at the idea of him starting 0-6, though. Like, oh no, are we going to do this again? After an entire offseason of this is the best hire ever.
And it took forever, too, to finish that. I was actually listening to the end of that game because I had just started mowing the lawn, and it was like, oh my God. My God. Oh, that Cal. Yeah. Cal kept getting all these weird chances. And then the Hail Mary at the end of the game basically lands on the Cal guy's chest, and he's just unable to squeeze it and hold on to it. Otherwise, they'd have lost the game.
Yeah. Man, can you imagine?
Well, speaking of crazy, man, the NFL yesterday was stupid crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I missed the end of the Miami-Baltimore game because the Rams game had already started.
Oh, no.
And so I'd kind of shut that one off because I was like in Rams mode, but goodness. Baltimore's up 21, right? It was 35-14.
Believe so. I know for sure that they were up 28-7 at one point.
And we're dominating.
Yeah.
And for those who thought, is this Tyreek Hill thing going to work? Oh, it worked. It worked magnificently. They couldn't not connect with each other. I saw a video today because it's funny. We didn't really talk about this much last week, but Nebraska played a left-handed quarterback. Nebraska hasn't played a lot of left-handed quarterbacks recently, and that it can be a different thing to prepare for. But sometimes left-handed quarterbacks don't get enough credit just because the way you watch the game, their back is to you when they throw.
I saw a video today where it literally
someone
did you see
turned
that?
The video around
and
to make him look like he was right-handed, and you could, you see him opening up his hips, you can see his front side, you can see him throwing, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
This looked it looked different.
Tua was awesome.
Tua looked good. Miami's legit.
I like Tua.
Miami's legit.
Yeah. How about the game of next week being at noon? Dolphins, Bills. Let's go. Nooner.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
Yeah. Which Chiefs game is going to black that one out?
Oh,
for
no.
The,
are they
local
on
market?
At noon next week?
I don't know if they are or not.
Let me look real
the
fast.
The Jets.
Yeah. What the hell?
I did see that finish.
Yeah.
The Jets down 13 and inexplicably blown coverage with like 1:10 to go.
Oh, Chiefs are at noon.
They get a walk-in touchdown and then recover the onside. They score again. The Jets. The Arizona-Vegas game?
Incredible.
Kyler Murray with 2 plays.
The 20-second
that
play?
Took 20 seconds.
That's longer than Rick Pitino, man.
He had 2 of those at the end of the game. One was a 2-point conversion. The other was a touchdown. Or were they both 2-point conversions?
I think they both were. I know obviously the second one was.
But he's out there dancing around a hole, and the Raiders are just sitting back, dropping 8, playing coverage. They can't get to him.
Mm-hmm.
Rams in Atlanta. That was stupid. That was just stupid.
Yeah, especially after all the 28-3 jokes happened.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see those? Did you see this?
Oh, yeah, I saw those.
Yeah.
I saw those. I heard them.
Hey, also, what about the Dallas Cowboys? What a win.
What about them?
Yeah, I only saw the last 4 minutes of that one.
They like sacking quarterbacks. Micah Parsons, one of my friends asked recently, like, hey, who are your favorite players? It's on a group chat. Who are your favorite players on all of your favorite teams over the years?
Yeah.
And I never got around to doing it because I was busy when he asked. And I was trying to think about it. I don't know the answer with the Cowboys. Like, I like players. I've liked players over the years, but I've never had a player on the team that I'm just like head over heels for. I think Micah Parsons is that dude. I am a fan of Micah Parsons. He likes sacking the quarterback. He is on pace, Nicholas.
Yes.
You know how many sacks he's on pace for?
24.
34 sacks.
Wow, I wasn't too far. Are you going to get a poster?
Nah, I got bad news for you, Josh. They're not playing Cincinnati every week.
I know. But he had 2 sacks against Tom Brady, though their offensive line's bad too. They're going to lose to the Giants, though, on Monday, I think.
So Tom Brady's old now.
Tom Brady is old. We'll talk about him in content. Gen Xers, garbage is what we're about to talk about in content in a little bit. Garbage.
What?
Lazy. Gen
Xers again?
Lazy. They're back to being lazy like they were in the 90s. Lazy. We'll talk about it.
Lazy in the 90s?
Oh, we talked about it.
We were going to college and then paying off our loans.
And listening to really good music. R.I.P. Kurt.
Oh, yeah. R.I.P.
No, we were listening to good music from the 80s.
Gross.
We were ignoring Kurt.
Gross.
Because he was an idiot.
Wow. He's dead.
The Urban Meyer of grunge music.
Okay, John, that's too far.
Wow.
That's too far.
Wow.
What? We have another zone deal for Vallis?
What?
Well, for the person that keeps emailing me and saying these things are selling out too fast and I can't get in, you got another chance this week.
Mm-hmm.
This Friday at 2 passes, just $39.
Also, speaking of passes, we're going to have some to give away. Have you found out how many, Nicholas?
Yes.
How many?
We have 4 pairs.
Ooh.
We have 4 pairs to Vallis.
So we're going to be doing a game, I believe, on Friday. We'll tell you about the game later.
Ooh, is it one of our fun games?
I believe it could be.
One of our really fun, cool, unique games?
I think it could be.
Are we bringing back Whoa, That's Racist?
We could be. Do you want to?
No.
Nick?
No.
We can't.
Bad call.
Nick doesn't like the comment section on YouTube. No way he would allow us to play the Whoa, That's Racist game.
I like our show still being on the air.
Oh, we'll be just fine, Nick. We'll be just fine.
It's not 2005 anymore, guys.
Hey, it was 2015.
It was 2015 when we played Whoa, That's
not
Racist.
2015 anymore.
You don't even know the game. You don't
Harambe was alive last time you did it.
Oh, all right.
Urban Meyer was still an effective coach.
See? A lot of time has passed.
Well done. Well done.
Anyway, Vallis Pumpkin Patch. Get all the details. And they go on sale this Friday. 1620thezone.com.
Previously on the crossover.
Did you know they canceled every funeral because of the Queen's funeral?
What?
Nobody can die anymore. Nobody's allowed to get buried right now. And there's some religions that you have to be buried within 24 hours.
This is why we broke away from these people, because they're stupid.
A whole bunch of bodies in England just rotting.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Above ground.
Sharp and Benning in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Very warm into the evening with the temperatures in the 80s and that south breeze blowing. Clear to partly cloudy tonight. We'll only drop back in the lower 70s for low. And then sunny skies and record heat coming for Tuesday with highs in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. No major accidents to report at this time, but there is some construction around the area and the normal congestion for your Monday afternoon on the way home from work. So be patient and wear your seatbelt. That's a look at traffic.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Everyone knows Saul's pays top dollar for your gold, but Saul's pays cash on the spot for your precious metals too. Silver, gold, platinum, coins, bars. Who wants to wait to get paid? Get to Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Saul's Jewelry and Loan. You'll find it all at Saul's Jewelry.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Hey, it's Damon. Are you looking for a good time on the way home from a football game on a Friday night or out and about on a Saturday afternoon? The answer is yes. Ted and Wally's Ice Cream is for you. That's right. Ted and Wally's, the best time with over 3,000 flavors of homemade greatness of ultra premium ice cream with locally sourced ingredients. That makes it creamier, tastier, and that much more amazing. So stop in and pick up some pints, quarts, or half gallons. Again, 2 great locations, Benson and the Old Market, celebrating 35 great years, or you can visit tedandwallys.com.
Hey everybody, it's Gary Sharp on behalf of my friends at Tickets for Less. As you probably heard by now, Tickets for Less is my go-to source whenever I need Husker tickets. But I want you to know that Tickets for Less has a lot more to offer. Did you know they have the largest selection of tickets to events both locally and nationwide? Plus, the thing I like the most, they never charge you outrageous per ticket service fees on your order. That's why I always use Tickets for Less. Whether I want to go to Arrowhead and see the Chiefs play, attend a concert or a show, ticketsforless.com is my first stop. See for yourself at ticketsforless.com.
Jocelyn Reyna is a young professional in her hometown of Grand Island. She came here from Mexico with her family in the 4th grade. Her public school teachers gave her support and confidence.
My teachers helped me become a better version of myself.
She earned a full-ride scholarship to the University of Nebraska and now helps people understand the importance of voting. Public education made a difference for Jocelyn, and that makes her
Public school proud.
See more of Jocelyn's story and tell us what makes you public school proud at nsea.org/proud.
Get ready for the scare of a lifetime, because Madness Haunted House is back once again. Seek the thrills and horror at the new location at Pioneer Trail Orchard. Over 2 acres and 30 minutes of quality screams and fear. Madness Haunted House, the haunt that wouldn't die.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
Now, 3 inches. 3. Last time I checked, that's a lot.
On 1620, The Zone.
Ooh. Welcome back, John, Josh, and Nick, on this Monday. By the way, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we were talking about candidates, and we'll have another edition of Not Frost versus the World tomorrow. CJ says, speaking of Jim Franklin, what about him for a potential candidate? Seems Penn State is never satisfied with him. His buyout is so big because he just re-upped with them. I just don't think he'd leave. I don't think he, because
why would he leave Penn State to come to Lincoln?
Yeah,
Nebraska. And I realize that not all of these candidates that we're going to have in Not Frost versus the World are necessarily ones that I think are actual candidates.
Yeah.
But I don't know if James Franklin rises to the level of being in, because I don't think that's an option.
Yeah, and I don't know in terms of if he leaves. Okay, here we go. So if he were to leave after this year, he would owe Penn State $12 million if it happened before April 1st of 2023, which it obviously would, or $8 million after. So that means Nebraska would owe them a $12 million on top of the $15 million that they owe Frost. So it's 27 right there. Now, look, I know they're swimming in money. I'd say that's even too rich for their blood. So I don't think that they would
here's the other thing. What would prompt James Franklin to want to leave?
Just the frustration, I guess, of being there.
I suppose.
But I'm with you. I'd be pretty surprised if something like that happened. Pretty surprised.
402-951-1620. Here is Luke. Good afternoon, Luke. Thanks for waiting. You're in the zone.
Hey, bros. How we doing this afternoon?
What up, bro?
Hey, bro.
I can't do the whole phone call like that. That'd be too cringe for me. But so I just wanted to call in and talk to you guys about the whole Urban Meyer coming here thing. So I completely agree with you guys. I think that'd be a complete dumpster fire and a total waste of time for us. About a little less than a year ago, I called in and when the loudest firing Frost people were kind of starting to speak up, and we're kind of in the middle of the discussion of who you're going to get type of argument and all that kind of stuff. And I called in and my suggestion was that the people who were thinking like this, that we need to keep Frost because who you're going to get, was that, unless it was a name like an Urban Meyer, a Nick Saban, a Dabo Swinney, somebody like that, they wouldn't accept it because it wasn't something that, like the guy earlier said, Dave Aranda, oh yeah, he's a lot better than Urban Meyer, that type of thing. And I think we're starting to see like the version of it now, kind of a year later, where it's like, well, now that Frost is gone, the only type of coach that will be acceptable to the same type of person who didn't want to get rid of Frost is an Urban Meyer. They're more interested in hiring a name than they are actually hiring a coach that would be best for Nebraska's situation. And I just think that fast success, even if Urban Meyer had it, would come with slow problems down the road. And I just think that'd be a complete and total disaster.
Interesting theory there, Luke.
Thanks for the call, Luke.
That the Frostafarians are now turning into urban renewals.
Love it.
Amazing.
These sound like a lot
Urban
of
Outfitters.
It sounds
Or
like
urban outfitters.
It sounds like a bunch
I
of
like
like
that.
political terms that we would use for things. I think there's a very fascinating discussion to be had in all of this. If you kind of push through just like the yelling on both sides of the discussion, and that is like, what are you willing as a fan to put up with for success, and how much success do you need for you to feel like it's worthy of it? For example, you and I think Urban Meyer would not be Urban Meyer of old.
No.
Urban Meyer is, in my opinion, still good enough coach, and he would put together a good enough staff where like 8-9 win season absolutely would be in the cards. So, say I have to say, would that be okay? Has like things gotten so bad around here that you're just like, look, I just want another 8-win season again, and I'll take an 8-win season, even if it means that it's a dumpster fire on the way out. Because look, I know the answer if I say I'm guaranteeing you a national title or a step below that, which is a playoff berth or a Big Ten title. I know what the answer is there. But like, how much success are you needing to put up with everything else?
Do you really think, Josh, that the Urban Outfitters sect of the fan base, I'm liking this, this is good, that the Urban Outfitters sect of the fan base will believe or accept anything less than a national championship because, well, he did it at Florida and Ohio State, of course he'll do it here? You're crazy. You're crazy to think that the urban renewal or Urban Outfitters sect of the fan base wants Urban because Urban wins titles.
Yeah. Because like that's what you feel like you get with
They're not looking at hey, let's just get us back to 9-win seasons. Yeah. They ain't looking for that.
Yeah.
They ain't looking for that because Urban is the one candidate of all the candidates that are out there that has a national title.
It'd be like hiring Nick
multiple
Saban.
national
if
titles.
you hire Nick Saban, you're not expecting 9-win seasons.
Exactly.
You're expecting national title.
And that's another part of this whole conversation that is being ignored. What have we long preached on this show, Josh? Sweet spot. Nebraska, a program like Nebraska needs to get back to that sweet spot. This is
the Bo era.
Nebraska is not a kind of a program that you're just going to walk in and you're going to be a national title contender in 3 years. It ain't that way.
Mm-hmm.
Not in this era of college football. Not in the last 25 years of college football. The reason why Nebraska was able to go on the run they went on in the 90s was because they had already established a baseline of success that they never shrank from. 9-win, 10-win seasons in a year, in seasons when they didn't play 12 regular season games every single year. All they needed was that last kick in the ass to move them into the upper echelon, the esteemed echelon that they were in.
They needed the soundtrack of Nirvana.
No, they did
Hell
not,
yeah.
They did not need that.
Let's do this for Kurt. That's what
For
they said.
Kurt.
That's what they said. Forget about refuse to lose or unfinished business.
The entirety of Nevermind.
Do this for Kurt.
I'm going to refrain from any comment. Nebraska is so far from the baseline. They need someone who can come in here and just rebuild the foundation of Nebraska football. The foundation is busted. Urban ain't never built a foundation at the Power 5 level. Never. He didn't have to. That doesn't discredit what he did. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This would be a different conversation. This would be a very different conversation if Urban Meyer was the guy considered after Bo Pelini.
Definitely. Oh, by far.
Because the baseline was a lot stronger. Plus, yeah, there were still the past Florida transgressions, but didn't have the Zach Smith stuff. You didn't have the Jacksonville stuff. If we're having this conversation in 2013, 2014, okay, now we're talking. Nebraska is so far below where they were in 2013 and 2014. And for anyone who doesn't see that, I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you're watching. Different conversation, and it's a very different time, not only in college football, but also at Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Very different conversation. Coming up next, we have what Mark Sanchez said yesterday during the Rams broadcast.
Oh.
And if you were like me, you actually heard it live, but most of you didn't because you were watching something else. And Josh is insistent that my generation is lazy.
Definitely are. Two things before we get to content. First of all, Ed says that the game that we should play on Friday for the Val's tickets is who said it, Urban or Satan? What a game. See if we
do we have any actual quotes from Satan?
Good call. I mean, we could read through the
Isn't
Bible.
a lot of the Old Testament have some?
Lucifer was his name as the fallen angel. Also from Brett McMurphy. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't. A
53-year-old Arkansas fan was arrested after reportedly biting a man's nose in a parking garage near Razorback Stadium after the Hogs win versus Missouri State Saturday. KNWA reports he was charged with terroristic threatening and third-degree battery for ripping the flesh on top of nose. Brett adds, WPS, woo, pig suey. Arkansas fans biting noses. Biting noses.
That's, I'm sorry, just our one caller would probably like him, bloody knuckles.
Oh,
bloody
yeah.
noses.
Oh, big fan, bro. Also, are we doing Thrones today, too? Have we all seen?
Yeah, we got
all seen Thrones?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Hot D.
Hot D.
Hot
The
D.
episode ended with some, I won't say it. We'll say that for the spoiler discussion.
On 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Take your science or healthcare degree to the next level at College of St. Mary and apply to one of our in-demand graduate programs. Earn a Doctor of Physical Therapy with our online on-campus hybrid program. Earn a Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies in just 2 years, or an Occupational Therapy Doctorate in 3 years. Graduate programs at CSM are inclusive and open to everyone. Plus, we offer an accelerated pathway to several of our healthcare programs for those needing their undergraduate degree. Apply today. Get started at csm.edu.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
I did a site visit and the space is absolutely incredible.
Este's Reiki Clinic is opening another studio across town.
But there's a lot to wrap up.
But staffing an entire office requires more than just deep breathing.
Receptionist and at least 4 new practitioners.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
The 2022-23 Creighton sports season holds great promise for competing for Big East and national honors, and 1620 The Zone will be there all year long. The 1620 The Jays podcast covers all of Blue Jay sports, from volleyball, soccer, and cross country in the fall to basketball in the winter, plus baseball, softball, tennis, golf, and rowing. Join me, John Bishop, along with Josh Peterson and Connor Happer each week for interviews with Creighton student athletes and coaches. It's the 1620 The Jays podcast. New episodes each Friday on 1620thezone.com and on Twitter at 1620 The Jays.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
Nick.
John.
Celebrating wins by both of his teams this week in the NFL.
Garbage ass
Though
Broncos.
it was so bad for the Broncos that the fans had to count down the play clock because of their game management.
Pathetic, Nick. Not good. Your franchise pathetic. One of your two franchises.
No, the Dolphins are doing great.
And one of the
Tua's got a
online
cannon.
gambling outlets is giving away free bets to anyone who voted or bet that Russell Wilson would win NFL MVP. He has started so poorly.
Well, it sucks to be a Broncos fan, which I am not.
Yeah, okay.
Trey Lance broke his ankle yesterday and will now miss the rest of the 2022 season, which means after all the takes about Jimmy G, he'll be the starter after all moving forward. I guess the 49ers made the correct, smart, genius decision in not trading him away, huh?
How about that? A backdoor smart move. They kind of walked in the back door on that one. They couldn't find a trade partner, so they had no choice but to sign him. By the way, they wouldn't have been in this spot in the first place if they hadn't have drafted so poorly to begin with.
This shows the genius of Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, yeah.
And they picked up a big win. They won. Dominating victory.
Jimmy, here's what we're going to do. We're going to trade away our next couple of drafts so we can pick your replacement so that he can come in. He's going to take your job. We're going to threaten to trade you, and then he's going to break his ankle, and then we're going to bring you back.
Folks.
Great plan. That said, as soon as my son told me that what had happened in the game, I said the 49ers just got better.
Wow. Oh. Are they playing you guys next week? Or no, 2 weeks?
A couple weeks.
Big 49ers guy, John Bishop.
Wow, John Bishop, the 49ers winning the Super Bowl.
Jimmy G was a better option for him than Trey Lance.
Tom Brady will reportedly receive a rest and personal day every Wednesday for the rest of the season. Lazy Gen Xers, am I right, Josh?
Disgusting generation. So I've seen this term over the last couple of days that I hadn't heard before, quiet quitting.
Oh, yeah, quiet quitting.
I don't know what quiet quitting is, but people are saying
it's when you do like
the bare
minimum.
because your generation does it out loud.
The bare minimum. Tom Brady, bare minimum. Interesting. What's next? Oh, maybe I'll take Sundays off too. Smile, Tom. What are you doing?
Smile, Tom.
It sucks that, I feel like we should still be right about them this year, but they're in such a bad division that they'll probably make the playoffs. But your generation, Gen X, bad. That's why you never win president. That's why you're never president, because you're lazy. And Americans can recognize that you're lazy. This is your leader.
Americans can't recognize anything, which is why we end up with these awful candidates to begin with.
This is your leader. Brian.
Tom Brady?
Tom Brady, voice of a generation.
That's what people say.
We don't claim him.
Brian says, isn't quiet quitting what Frost did?
Basically, actually.
Let's get meetings.
It's called quiet getting paid a lot of money to not work.
Oh, yeah.
There is another. Herm Edwards has been let go after just 3 games this season by Arizona State, but does this job pose any threat to whomever Trev Alberts is looking at for head coach?
I don't believe it does. I don't think the pool is the same, and Arizona State's in a unique spot. And it'll be an interesting test case. It really will, to see what the attractiveness of that job is, given the new landscape of college football, which is Big Ten and SEC way up here and Pac-12 on its deathbed.
Yeah, I'm with you. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Just don't think that they're going to be in the same pool. But even if they were, Nebraska's in the better conference. I know. I understand all
They're
the
in the better pool.
They're in the better pool. Yeah,
with Urban Meyer sitting next to the tiki bar getting a lap dance.
What are the pools called that don't like the edgeless kind of pools? What are those things called? A pool where it looks like there's no end to it.
Oh yeah, what is it called?
It's not edgeless.
It's criminy.
Yeah,
I know the term you're looking at.
Endless pool, I believe is what they're called. That's what Nebraska is in now. Arizona State, they might have pools year round, but it's not an endless pool. So
we'll have to ask Mike Farron tomorrow what kind of
all that to say, no, they're fine. They'll be just fine.
After another 2 home run game, Aaron Judge sits 2 away from tying Roger
Infinity pool. Sorry, Nick. Thank you, Sky.
Roger Maris 61 and 3 away from setting a new AL record. So tell me again, what were the Yankees thinking with his contract?
They were thinking they could get him on the cheap or cheaper. That said, I still think at the end of the day, the Yankees are going to be able to find the money to give him the big deal.
They're the New York Yankees. They have money?
Nobody thinks of the poor Yankees.
Yeah, what? How do these baseball franchises with 81 home games a year not have money, supposedly?
Oh, they do. They do have money.
They shouldn't have built the new stadium that's never full there in New York.
I'm not really sure what the Yankees were thinking when it came to Aaron Judge.
Yeah,
either way, that man's going to get paid. It's going to be fun to watch the bidding war that will take place for him. Of course, it'll only be about 3 or 4 teams that do it because everyone else will be like, we don't want to push that whole luxury tax thing because we'd rather sit back here and do it on the cheap.
Also, Brian points out ASU is in a high-risk pool. You get in there, you might leave with let's just move on.
Take a shower after that pool. With 2 weeks left in the season, the Orioles are 4 back of Seattle for the last AL wildcard. The Brewers are just 2 behind Philly for the last NL wildcard. The White Sox are 3 games behind Cleveland in the AL Central, while the Mets lead the Braves by 1 lone game in the NL East. Which is the most dramatic race to finish MLB's regular season?
It's the wild card in the AL just to see if Seattle can get back. That's what it's about. I'm thinking of my dear friend Mike Stibbs and all Mariners Nation. My first favorite baseball team, by the way.
I don't think that might be the most interesting race to you, but most dramatic. I think the Mariners will be fine. But the Padres are only 2.5 ahead of the Brewers. So you really got a 3-team race in the NL wild card. That said, I know both teams are going to make the playoffs anyway, but this is the first time where we're going to see the bye come in baseball playoffs. The Mets and the Braves, the winner gets the 2 seed and will not have to play an opening wild card round. The loser has to play up to 3 wild card games. And those 2 teams have been, tussling it out for quite a while. To me, that's the most dramatic race.
Baseball. What a sport.
It's a great
baseball. Lost in the chaos of Kevin Kugler using his evil powers to make John's life as a Rams fan miserable.
Which he did.
So dramatic. Was this line by Mark Sanchez during the Fox's Rams-Falcons broadcast.
Toby Shelton's clearing out defenders faster than a teenager clears his search history on his web browser. Holy smokes.
Classic.
I love that line.
Use incognito mode, then you don't have to worry about it.
I love that line.
Bingo. But, teenage kids are idiots.
It was a great line.
Very good line.
Every teenage kid knows how to use incognito mode.
They didn't Nick, sorry that your generation grew up online. Some of us made mistakes when we were young.
Lazy millennials.
I
Not
wonder,
lazy, just mistake.
I don't know, because of the whole, how his playing career ended, if his name would carry enough cachet.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Tom Brady thing doesn't work out because, as you say, he's a lazy Gen Xer, I think Mark Sanchez is a good analyst. He and Kevin do a really good job, besides the fact that Kevin curses my team.
I was going to say, holy crap, you're saying such nice things.
Yeah, no, are you okay?
About Mark Sanchez?
Well, and you even kind of complimented Kevin for a moment.
But again, he hates my team. He curses my team.
He hates everyone's team.
Yeah, but he especially has glee. You should have heard the glee in his voice as the Rams were choking that lead. He could barely contain himself.
He's rooting for the story.
He was almost giggling. Oh, Marcus Mariota. He was almost giggling.
You know how announcers are, John. What do announcers root for?
Remember that
the
scene in The
story
Sopranos?
and the game to end fast.
Remember in the scene in The Sopranos where Tony's about ready to smother Livia?
Oh, I remember.
And then the guards pull him away, and then Livia's underneath the mask. She's smiling. That was Kevin yesterday. He's smiling.
Kevin was smiling?
He was smiling through the whole thing.
He probably did think about you just a little bit. It was like, John probably hates me right now. That's pretty funny.
Mark Sanchez does a really nice job.
They do a good job. Yeah.
Really nice job.
Good job.
And I love that line.
Do either, neither, or both of tonight's games go down to the wire?
Look, I want to say for sure that the Vikings-Eagles game does, because they seem like good teams.
Yeah.
But God, I almost feel like we might get a blowout in both. I hope not, though. Buffalo, I think, end up really killing Tennessee. I'll say one game goes down to the wire.
Yeah, I agree.
The not doubleheader. Can't wait. The first game starts at 6:15, by the way.
Cool.
What do you make of this tweet by Latest in Space? NASA has discovered a nearby Earth-like exoplanet using the James Webb Telescope. But it rains lava at night.
So my question, and
Earth-like.
I'm making the joke that everybody else makes. How is it Earth-like then? Is it the same size? How is it the same? Because we don't have lava raining from, raining down.
Pompeii would beg to differ, Josh.
Nice reference, Nick.
Thanks.
Well done.
I mean, that's like, I just wonder, I think living on that planet, would
Lava
be miserable.
Planet?
Only when it rains.
But not because it rains lava. But can you imagine?
It's just Mustafar.
Can you imagine what the environmentalist takes would be? One side saying, this planet sucks so bad it's raining lava. And the other side saying, it's not that bad.
Sounds like hell to me.
It sounds like
horrible.
a bad hellscape to me. The kind of planet I would send Kevin to do games on.
Wow.
I bet the animals would be cool, though.
What about
lava-proof animals?
What about Sanchez? You were just saying.
Well, Sanchez gets moved up to the #1 booth.
Oh, okay.
He gets to work with Burkhardt.
Oh, okay. So Greg Olsen.
He gets to work with a different Kevin.
He's going to the lava
A
planet.
Kevin that doesn't hate your team and jinxes them and smiles while he does it.
By the way, I'm not a TV ratings guy, as you know.
Uh-oh.
But the Amazon numbers, apparently their internal email said that their internal measurement shows that the audience exceeded all of their expectations. And John Oran thinks that means that it likely exceeded 12.5 million viewers.
Well, that would explain why some of you had issues.
There's a lot of people watching.
On many sides.
Man, we love football in this country.
Yeah, we do. And that was a good game, too.
It was. Chris says Titans beat the Bills last year. Yeah, I know they did. They ain't doing it tonight.
Maybe that'll be part of Josh's bet of the day.
Maybe it will be.
On 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Woodhouse Ford is your certified Ford dealer, serving drivers throughout Nebraska for 47 years. Our commitment to our customers continues well beyond the date of purchase. You will leave our lot feeling comfortable and confident in your new vehicle. Customers have been relying on Woodhouse Ford since 1975 for high-quality vehicles, knowledgeable staff, and exceptional service. Experience the Woodhouse Ford difference and shop at one of our 3 locations in-store or online at woodhouseford.com.
Hey, it's Damon. Are you looking for a good time on the way home from a football game on a Friday night or out and about on a Saturday afternoon? The answer is yes. Ted and Wally's Ice Cream is for you. That's right. Ted and Wally's, the best time with over 3,000 flavors of homemade greatness of ultra premium ice cream with locally sourced ingredients. That makes it creamier, tastier, and that much more amazing. So stop in and pick up some pints, quarts, or half gallons. Again, 2 great locations, Benson and the Old Market, celebrating 35 great years, or you can visit tedandwallys.com.
Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. New this year, it's Stefan's Country Drive. Antique cars where the kids are in the driver's seat. Plus, there's a new carousel. Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard is also opening a whole new part of the farm, the cider mill, with more than 50 other attractions included with admission. Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard is the place to be this fall. Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard, Gretna, Nebraska. Open September 23rd.
If you love food, love fun, love fall, you'll love Vallis Pumpkin Patch best of all.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
Trees supply oxygen, provide shelter, and reduce pollution. They're a symbol for life. Lanahaw Nurseries is the metro area's premier homegrown tree source. Leave a legacy that matters. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear, shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
If COVID taught us anything, it's that local matters. Local shops, local restaurants, even locally brewed beers. October is Drink Local Month. So the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild is challenging beer, seltzer, and cider drinkers like you to put your palate through its paces and drink local brews. Because seriously, Nebraska is really on the cutting edge when it comes to brewers who think outside the box. And besides, you really want to be drinking what they drink over in Iowa? Didn't think so. Click drinklocalnebraska.com.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
All y'all stupid mayo commies, you got to have the jelly. Otherwise, it's like you have a giant cotton ball in your mouth.
1620, The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding me.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
All right. On Friday, John, sadly, he had Casey Thompson over 244.5 passing yards. That was the one that didn't hit on top of Oklahoma covering.
Fire Mickey Joseph. Why did he take him out of the game?
Yeah,
Cost me a chance to win my bet of the day.
They easily did that.
I don't know if he gets to that many yards, even if he stays in.
I had Utah to cover, USC to cover. Both of those happened. Nick had a 3-teamer, Oklahoma, Penn State, and LSU. Those won as well. So winner for a couple of us. Looking ahead to tonight. Screw it. Give me the Bills. I'm going to go money line here. Give me the Bills. It's a huge favorite. I'm going to go with the Vikings. Now, part of this is rooting for it to happen. But every year, man, there's a team that gets off to a fast start, and we kind of fall in love with them. New coach. I like what Minnesota did last week against the Packers. Think they'll win tonight, and my girlfriend will be very, very mad. Go Vikings! Skull Vikings. Thank you.
Did you take the Bills on the money line?
Yes. Plus 168.
Well, I'm going to be more dangerous than you. I will take the Bills minus the 10 and the Vikings on the money line plus 320.
Ooh.
I'll go for the bigger payout as Bubbalo wins by more than 10.
Nick?
Hopefully.
I just want the Vikings to do well. Plus 120.
That's the bet of the day.
Oh, man. All of us picking the Vikings.
They're going to lose.
Congratulations, Philly, on your 2-0 start.
I think that you're forgetting who hit a 3-teamer on Friday. fellas.
Hard to argue with that. Hard to argue.
Well, last night's Hot D.
Spoiler alert.
Yep, spoiler alert. Ooh.
Dude, the end. Holy moly.
Weddings in Westeros are a bad thing.
Can we have one good wedding?
Nope.
They're never normal.
How was Sansa and Tyrion's? Was that one? Did anyone die there?
Well, no, it was awkward though, and Joffrey was being a jerk.
That's fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
More like jerk free.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of jerk free.
So, it's obvious as you're watching the end of last night, I assume you guys felt the same way. Like, okay, there's only a few minutes left. Something bad's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen. I just kept wondering what it was going to be. And then a ruckus happens in the middle of all these people. And I'm like, okay, so who's getting beaten up right now? Who's getting stabbed and killed? Man.
By the way, I didn't know that the
Things I do for
prince's
love.
lover was named Joffrey.
Yeah.
His name's
Joffrey and
too.
ruining weddings. Name a better pair.
Yeah.
Right.
and Sir see, I'm still trying to get
I
used to
know.
all
Mix
these
a lot.
names.
I am too. It's not like by the end of obviously Thrones, I knew everybody's name. I'm still in the struggle on the struggle bus right now.
It's not Kristen, is it?
Sir Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Kingsguard who had the little tryst with the princess.
Who told the queen about it.
And the fact, I mean,
Dumb call.
He turned the dude's face into a jello mold.
That guy's such an idiot.
Who, the Kingsguard guy?
Yeah, not a fan
Sir,
of that.
Sir Kristen?
Yeah,
Like,
Sir
he told the queen that he slept with not Daenerys.
Yeah. See, and I always forget about the rules for like this kind of time period. I forgot
Celibacy.
Yeah, I forgot about the celibacy. So it's like, oh, you did that, and you also took her virginity. Like, also a problem for people.
Yeah.
Just a disaster for all parties involved here. All parties involved. And if Viserys dies, one of the few guys that I know his name, he's dead.
Well, you don't need to worry about it anymore.
Don't need to worry about his weird back anymore.
Well,
his
now,
fingies.
now Queen Alicent looks like she's going to be teaming up with Sir Kristen as allies. And so the queen is now she's going to war with Rhaenyra.
I liked that green dress entrance.
Yeah,
Just
that was
interrupting in the middle of his
cool. And I liked the little
looking like Fiona.
I liked the little sidebar with the two guys at the table saying, "Hey, when the Hightowers call their banners to war, what
that was
color do they
nice.
use?"
It's good to kind of get some of that
green,
intel.
and she was wearing this emerald green dress, and she was marching down, getting everyone's attention, interrupting the king.
So I wonder, we talked about it before. This is 5 episodes, right? So we have 5 left. There's another bigger time jump coming at some point.
I think it's next episode.
Because I didn't watch the previews.
This is the last time the two actresses who play the queen and the princess
are young.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be
there's
the
new
older
actresses
versions
now.
Okay.
So next episode, we're moving ahead far enough to where new actresses will be playing those two main parts.
I've heard that they based the younger actresses off of the older actresses, so it shouldn't be too jarring of a.
So we'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I know who the blonde one is.
Well, okay.
Which means, good grief, what's the king going to look like? He's falling apart now. If they jump ahead 5 years.
My favorite.
Is he going to be just a giant scab?
My favorite running joke so far,
nasty hand,
is how he's getting hurt by the Iron Throne, and they're just like running with it, like get the leeches.
He's gonna be dead. Gonna be a bad.
Well, yeah,
time.
he has to die because that's when the fighting begins over who gets to be the successor.
And then it becomes a Game of Thrones.
Brunts, Farron, Parker Gabriel.
On Knicks Broncos?
Yep.
Oh. Homer. Bye.
Bye.